Finally. Hello everybody, welcome to the Noel Zone. Sorry about that. The video was playing on StreamYard, but then I realised it wasn't playing on YouTube because StreamYard is just absolutely ridiculous now these days. But I hope you are all doing well. I hope you like the old new Rick and Morty t-shirt. Got that today. Got myself a new jacket, a new pair of jeans and a pair of shoes because I needed to update my wardrobe, and I haven't updated my wardrobe in a few years. So I went out and did a bit of shopping and stuff like that. New mic will be coming at the end of the week. Cheryl has ordered me one. I just told her to get me a cheap one because the last one we got was a little bit expensive, but it just died. It just completely died. The lights still work on it, but there's no sound coming out. So right now I'm using the sound. It's either coming through the camera or it's coming through the laptop, so it won't be as great quality as the mic has been. But we just got back from the city centre. So look, I was going to do 2 streams today. I announced it on X. I was going to do one on Mr. TARDIS, but I've had to think about it. You know what? I'm not going to start any nonsense with that idiot again. He's already got enough on his plate being triggered by someone else. All I would just say to people is I've given my opinion on him over the years anyway. I think it is about time that this man gets called out by everybody in the fandom because he's an absolute, I'm telling you now, he's one of the worst things to happen to the fandom. He goes around and he slags everybody for doing the exact same thing that he's doing himself. He used to have a problem with people doing hit pieces, but he has no problem doing them now himself because he knows it brings in the views. So he can't be really criticising people. So I'm not even going to bother and waste my time doing a whole stream on this moron when everybody knows what the guy is like. It's just about time that everybody wakes up to his antics anyway. Begging for money and all recently. Again, second time begging for money. People want to open their eyes to that fraud because that's what he is, man. Right? Anyway, so this stream is just going to be a bit random, to be quite honest with you. As I said, I was out in the city centre, but I do have something to moan about. So we're living in an age now, as you all know, guys. This new self-service checkouts that you do everywhere, and they're everywhere now. They've been in the supermarkets little bit longer, but now shops like Pennies or Primark, that what's called in the UK, they're starting to do these self-service checkouts, right? But let me tell you something about self-service checkouts. It's all a con, right? See, what happens is, right, is they're not actually getting rid of all the staff, you see, right? They'll have a few on the counters themselves, but not the counters full like they used to have in the old days. Now, the people behind the counters, to me, is the best way of doing it. It's they're quick at doing it, right? They get you in and out, and it's done. When you're doing the self-service, all of these self-service machines always break down. When you scan something, it doesn't either scan, or you have to keep fucking doing it, or then eventually you have to call someone over. And that's what's happened to these staff members that used to work behind the checkout. They are all now working, just standing there, right? Just waiting to see if they can be assistance for someone out there, right? Just that, right? But I've noticed, I got to be honest, right? Nobody works for the money anymore in these places, right? They're not working the way we worked, right? They get away with it and still moaning that work is too hard, and all of these self-service checkout places, the staff are just walking around like headless chickens, pretending to be busy, like, so when they're on camera, when the bosses are looking, it looks like they're doing stuff, but they're actually doing fuck all. Right? The self-service thing is a con, right? I said it in the early days. It's a con, right? It slows everything up. Staff and companies are just getting lazy, right? Because they do it in China and other places like that, then they implement it in Europe. Say, oh yeah, we should go down that route. No, No, I like the customer and the interaction with the person at the checkout, right? That little bit of personal service, as we used to always say back in the day. In the 50s, they prided themselves on personal service. You look at the gas stations in America in the 50s. They'd have people coming out cleaning your hubcaps and your tires, and while you were getting your car filled up, they check your oil for you. That personal touch, right? We're losing that now with this whole con of self-service. It slows everything up. The queues end up being bigger because people are having problems with the machines. And I think it's done deliberately, to be honest with you, because you notice the machines behind the counters never break down, but it's always those self-service machines that break down, right? Okay, not everybody can. I can use those machines; they're not a bother. But sometimes, like, I get frustrated when I'm scanning something and it's not coming up, and I'm like, your woman, I say it's not going through. Have you scanned it properly? No, I'm a fucking tick. I am. I don't know how to scan stuff. I've scanned all the other stuff. Obviously, I say that to myself. I wouldn't say that to your woman, but I'm thinking that in my head. But you know what I mean? Like, they look at you as if you're stupid. This is your job. This is what you are to be getting paid for. But now you got this con of self-service and your boss has made it easy for you, and all you do is complain the moment someone asks you for a bag or to scan shit. Anyway, got to be honest, man. That's why I hate doing shopping. So Cheryl went down to the ladies section. I went up to the men's section, and she got what she wanted. I got what I wanted. We got to the counters. I was nearly about to have a meltdown. I just said to her, I said, listen, look down on the floor there, right? Because she wanted to go pay card, but go to the till where the people were serving, because it'd be faster. So we get up, and we're about to be served next, and we're told we're in the wrong queue because she had a card. So we had to re-queue again. And then that was when I just saw, and I just said, you know what, I'm walking outside, man. Yeah, I'll meet you outside. And I walked out. No, right? Don't be employing these people if you're going to have those machines because they don't do their jobs. I would say just get rid of them. But we won't, because that's the way they're going now with all of this self-service shite. Right? There's no more, there's no more customer service. That personal touch, as I was talking about. Anyway, that's me rant of shopping done. Yeah, that's why I hate shopping, and it's very rare that I'll go into the city centre with the missus because I fucking hate it. But I needed to be done. I needed to go in myself because I needed to try on stuff and make sure it actually fit me. Because my sizes have changed now, so I had to go in and in fairness, like the last time she went in to get me a jacket, she brought me back this kind of American hillbilly bloody thing. I says, listen, I don't wear shit like that. I don't wear jackets like that. Why, it was something like 40 quid or so. I was like, no way. No, I don't wear that. I says, I'm not a bugger. I says, I don't wear that shit. That's not the type of clothes I wear. So yeah. So that was a bit of fun. So we went and got something to eat as well, which was lovely. So we did have a nice look. It was still a lovely day. I mean, we went at each other's throat because when you go shopping with the missus, there might be an argument or two, but there was none. Because I just said, you know what, I just can't be dealing with the aggro, so I'm just gonna step outside and chill out. And she was like, yeah, go ahead. I'll see you when you come out. But another thing I did say, so obviously when I grew up as a kid, this was a big music store, HMV, and we all got very sad when HMV went away because part of me I used to go in there every Wednesday and get if there was a new album out that I wanted, I'd go in and I'd have my few quid on Wednesday and I'd go in and get myself an odd album or two and a couple of DVDs back in the day. So because I haven't been in that part of the city centre that I was in, I was walking through and I looked at her and I says, am I saying things here? Is that HIV? And she goes, yeah, it's back. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me? So she's like, do you want to go in? We went in, we just had a look around, we didn't buy it now, but I wanted to go in and have a look at. Now, the slight differences to the new HMV, they actually sell noodles and all of this shit, but they sell a lot of Funko Pop, which I'm not a big fan of, and the Disney Star Wars crap. But I went upstairs, you got the earphones, and you've got the albums and the vinyl, the CDs and the box sets. The only thing that they don't have, and people remember when you went into HMV was used for the posters that they used to do. Do you remember the replica posters of concerts they used to buy? They didn't have them now. And they do have a little live setup if there's any up and coming bands that want to come in and play, which I think is a good idea. But it was nice. It was nice to see HMV back. I have to say, I had a bit of a smile on my face, even though I didn't buy out now of it. Because I'm being honest, she probably would have bought something in there if I had a hat, because she says she want to have a look. I'm like, we're not going to be out. I saw a lightsaber now. I saw Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, and I was like, wow, right. So I went over to have a look at the price, and it was 149 quid, and I was like, 149 quid, Sharon, for a piece of plastic. Like 149 quid. Even the security guard was laughing at me. 149 quid. They had a lot of Beetlejuice stuff, which was quite, and the Corpse's Bride stuff, which was great. I love all of that gothic stuff as well, sort of thing. So, yeah, I had to get out of that shop, to be quite honest with you. So I was lucky we left when we did, because I probably would have ended up buying something there. Obviously not a lightsaber, but I probably would have bought something in there. And listen, HMV for me, that's my childhood. So to see it back, and I'm really chuffed. I am. I hope it stays out. This, and I'll say this anyway. Listen, HMV does the physical copies, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K editions of all of these movies and stuff like that. If there's a HMV or a record shop around you, or a music shop that sells DVDs and all, go and support them, man. Being honest, man, support them. It was such a shame when HMV left. I remember there was actually tears in the streets from some people. I'm not messing. I know, like, that sounds stupid. And to me, I was sad, but I was like, come on now, crying. I mean, things move on. But the fact to see it back again, and the little dog, because it's his master's voice, as someone said in the chat there. Not many people know that either. It was like that with REM years ago. People didn't know what REM stood for. It's like it's rapid eye movement. Like it's not even actually hard. Oh, apparently Facebook are not letting me stream on their platform now for some weird reason, because it's literally after telling me that I can't stream on both. So I don't know. I haven't even checked my Facebook. I probably, I don't say anything up on Facebook, but it's Zuckerberg. So HMV has loads of Doctor Who DVDs and Blu-rays. Well, that was the thing that was the comment I made actually to Cheryl when I left. I said the lack of Doctor Who stuff is unbelievable, and as she was walking down the stairs, she says to me, it was the Jodie Whittaker era that's killed it. Even though she thinks that this current Doctor Who, she thought she liked the 60th special, and she loved the church on Ruby. So she's always playing that Goblin fucking song. She has me head wrecked with it. Like every fucking day. Goblin song. Right? So she loves it, but she even admitted herself that the Chibnall era has absolutely destroyed the reputation of the show. Right? So even if there are people out there that do like this new era, right? It's not going to do anything because of what happened. They didn't listen. But that was the comment she made. And that was the comment I made as it was like the lack of Doctor Who stuff. There was lots of Disney Star Wars. Lots of Disney Star Wars. Actually, there was probably more Disney Star Wars stuff than there was OG Star Wars. Seriously, man. Right? Every day, the fucking Goblin song. She has me head. Seriously, man. Wrecked. Wrecked. Anyway, so yesterday. Now, I'm just going to say this, right? I've had a look at this. I've had a look at this footage, right? But hikers apparently have taken footage in Brazil of what they believe are aliens. Well, I'm going to tell you now that they're not aliens, right? Straight out telling you that this is a hoax. And the reason why I know it's a hoax, because if you look at the video very carefully, you will see that there's a pole moving one of their arms, right? It's not aliens. But why am I bringing this up? Because Peter Crouch is a footballer. He played for Stoke, Liverpool. I don't know what other clubs he played for. I just remember those two clubs in particular. But Peter Crouch, he's about 7 foot tall or something. And he wrote this, he retweeted it, right? With the video footage and all, and the headline, right? And he wrote this, we are on a family holiday. Please respect their privacy at this time, because he's literally tall. So, but if you look at the footage, it's clearly a hoax. Now, I will say, I'm going to say something here, right? But it's the truth, right? If you get footage from Brazil or footage from Mexico or footage from India, more than likely it is doctored, right? More than likely it's a hoax. Now, while there does seem to be a lot of UFO activity apparently in those places, people know how much the UFO phenomenon catches people's imaginations. So there are people in these countries that will take opportunities and advantages of that, and they will literally hoax a video just for views, right? So these hikers are probably in on it, right, and know the people that are pretending to be the aliens, take the footage, and then they go to the news, oh, we were hiking and we saw an alien, because it's Brazil, they'll literally put art on their TV, right? And then they say, oh yeah, look, we found aliens. They're aliens there. There's the aliens there, by the way. Right? So that's the alien. You can literally see, even there with the poor quality of that camera, there's literally a stick there, man. Right? So no, there's no aliens captured in Brazil in some video footage. It's a hoax, folks. It's a hoax. But I do believe in UFOs, and I do believe that there's other life out there, because if we are it, well then I feel sorry for the universe, to be quite fucking honest with you. What else have we got? Um, of course, the rating spin is still continuing in the fandom over the Doctor Who. I mean, look, the bottom line is this: is that no matter how much BBC, Disney Plus, or whoever try to spin how good the ratings are, we know for a fact the bottom line is it's not true, right? The show is doing as bad as people think it's doing, right? And it's a shame. It's a shame, but that's what happens. That's what happens, right? When you don't listen to the fans over the last 5 years when they told you the mistakes that you are making. But instead, you pushed on with your feminist narrative, you pushed on with the agenda, right? And you paid for it. Simple as that, right? This show is not going to recover, right? It's not. it's done for, right? It's only a matter of time before Disney, BBC realised that, and in fact RTD himself. But I reckon RTD has a sneaky suspicion that it's gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Shooty, Millie, and RTD steps down and hands it over to someone else. To be quite honest, because I don't think he'll want to be, because if his first two seasons decline very badly and keep going down the set, he won't want to be there till the end. So he'll hand it over to someone else and let them kind of take the shit, right? But this is bad. Again, it's what happens when you don't respect the fans. Simple as that, and it's deserved. So I have no sympathy for anybody now that's running this show. You're making the same mistakes as the previous showrunner, then you deserve everything that comes your way. It's as simple as that. Got to be blunt about it, don't we? I was starting to watch Gary and Drinker discuss the deal of pass on Forbidden Frontiers. Yeah, that whole thing is still to this day. They did a couple of other investigations since, but it still leaves a lot of unanswered questions. But I reckon the most plausible theory is that they stumbled across something and they weren't supposed to see and they were either directly taken out or an avalanche was started so they'd be taken out. But something did actually happen, because for them to run out of there, because that's the thing. If you listen to the details, it makes no sense. So clearly, some of them were asleep because they had no clothes on, and they left their tent without any clothes, right? But then ended up being able to get clothes, some of them. But that's what they were able to, from the tents and the way the tents were ripped, they were able to determine that whatever happened in a split second. And they didn't have time. But Tong's chest cavities and the injuries that they had just didn't make any sense for an avalanche, right? Even though an avalanche did take place, but the thing is, did the avalanche occur after the fact, after whatever happened to them, and then the avalanche was kind of try cover it up. But the officials, the Russians sent out another team. But again, because it's Russia, and Russia are always very private, you're never going to find out. As I reckon, it was a secret base they came across. But there are so many weird coincidences with that whole thing, and the fact that one of the members got sick just before as well. There's just something. Everything is suspicious about that. That's why it's such. I mean, they've done a movie about it. It's not on the events at all. It's about students who go there years later to retrace the steps, and then they have issues. It's a horror, like, but it's actually good. But it's not based on the actual event. You know what I mean? It's based off the lore of the event, so they've made a movie kind of out of it, and it's actually a pretty decent movie with a nice little twist at the end, which is deadly actually. But it's a weird one, that one. Still fascinates me because there's so much. Like, I'd go there. So I'm crazy enough to actually go there. But the problem is, if I went there, would I be safe? Would the Russians, like, would they be okay with me going up there? I'm Irish, not American, so like maybe that would work in my favour. But the thing about it is, yeah, I might be mad to go up there, but why would I? Shit could go down. or whatever is there is probably gone anyway. You know, because remember at the time they went up, it was during the wasn't it the 50s, so it's during the Cold War, wasn't it? So you know, Russia had their secret bases and all of that. So look, I reckon they came across something they weren't supposed to see, and back in those days, you know, they didn't ask questions and. Right, what else have we got here? Uh, let me see. Yeah, I mean, I can't actually believe I'm actually seeing this in 2024, but I'm actually just scrolling up and I'll just show you with no sound, by the way. Uh, but it looks like they're back. Looks like they're back. I mean, I mean, I mean, what's wrong with the world? I mean, wow, seriously, what is wrong with the world today? How is that in any way a good thing? I mean, it's like as if we're just erasing the past, right? Or people out there are trying to revise the past, right? The bottom line is, you know, World War Two, you know, atrocities happened during World War Two, right? It's as simple as that, and it can't be denied. The people deny all of that shit happened. I just don't know how you can deny it when the proof is there, right? Just because one or two photographs might have been taken at a different time to when they say the photographs were taken, every propaganda machine does that. The Brits have done it for decades, right? The Americans do it. The Russians do it. The Chinese do it. They all do it. They all put out photographs that are not technically when they happened. The whole Monuments thing, Monuments Man. Did you ever watch that movie? Right? Everything that you see in history, right, has been altered a little bit. But we knew that anyway. We knew that anyway. We knew that that's not when exactly it happened. They recreated it and all of that. But it did happen originally. Just there was nobody there to take photographs. So then they did do it again. We take the photograph, blah, blah, blah. It was the same with the Holocaust when we took photographs. And now we got these mad fucking dirty bastards back now. Right, they're in the streets of Dublin, UK, all over the place. They call themselves the radical left. Open your eyes. It's going to be too late. Anyway, the Polish people are not happy with the new government. And, well, you voted them in, you bunch of morons. But now they've realised they've made a mistake and now they're protesting. Well, what? You've got fooled then. See, this is the problem. Europe, Europe and your governments are going to play dirty tricks on you now, okay? Because they know they're losing it. They're losing. The European Union's losing this migration battle with the people. People have had enough, right? So they're desperate now, right? And they're going to do desperate things. right? This is why we have to stand firm and keep fighting back, right? Because these people are desperate now. So yeah, everything is, I don't know, man. This world's just sick. No, they have been selectively editing, erasing history, and now you cannot learn from the past mistakes. So of course history will repeat. Exactly, exactly. That's why it's very important to understand the history, and not just the history of your own country, but world history. You know, I'm seriously baffled. Swastikas back are back. They're back. They're back. And do you know what the difference is this time? You know what the stark difference is this time? Everybody sees it now and doesn't see it as a symbol of hate anymore. There's actually people, a few months back, right, in 2023, people were on X, right, and people that are on X can back me up on this, right? Guess what was trending on X? And I mean, I had hundreds of thousands of retweets. Do you know what was trending? Hitler was right. That's what was trending on Twitter, right? And people putting up posts about him, how right he was. I mean, these are all fucked up in the head. Like 6 million people died altogether. 6 million, around that figure. So according to all you muppets now on the left, erasing 6 million lives was the right thing to do, is what you're saying. These are all sick. These are all tapped in the head, right? This is why we've been fighting. All you fuckers are getting locked up, right? Some of you are going to be in mental institutions, and some will receive more harsher penalties because of stuff that you have done, right? But when the country and its people rise up and take their country back, all you motherfuckers are in trouble, big time. There's no room for racism on this planet. We've had enough of it, right? People have died because of it, right? He's aren't getting away with it again, right? We stand in your way, you evil pieces of shit, and we will stand in his way. Evil is not going to rule this world, right? It's not happening. Not happening on their watch. All right. It's unbelievable. Oh, by the way, as well, just want to talk about this thing, but I have to be careful because YouTube again. So they're pushing the old, you know what, right? Because apparently, like we're all in danger again. Um, but there's just had to be a report. Apparently, scientists are baffled. You're going to love this one, right? Scientists are baffled because there are turbo cancers in young people, in more young people, and they're baffled. Scientists are baffled that there are more cancers among young people, and yet nobody could see the connection because they're all a bunch of sellout murdering bastards, right? We all know what's responsible, right? They've even put out stupid articles. Oh, you put a heater on. If you put a heater on, even though you're cold, if you put the heater on, right, you will get blood clots, and then you will, right? A few months ago was, people were just suddenly because of climate change. Climate change. Right? Excuse after excuse after excuse after excuses. All need to stop being dumb motherfuckers. Right? There is only one thing that's responsible. Right? The one thing that everybody was fucking forced or shamed into taking. Right? We told you all that would be long-term and short-term effects. Right? We warned you all. Right? You wouldn't listen. Right? You wouldn't fucking listen, and you still don't listen today. Right? Some of you's going out there with about 50 fucking masks on his faces. We just give it over and cop fucking on. Right? The bottom line is you're still going to catch a cold, you're still going to catch the flu, and you're still going to catch fucking COVID. Right? But the people that are responsible for it are getting away with it. Okay? Right? Because we know COVID didn't just happen by accident. Okay? And then all of a sudden this miracle thing came along. And you're all lined up like little fucking sheep because we're all a bunch of dumb fuckers. Right? And you all went, right? And then a year or two later, bang! Oh, all these anti-vaxxers, I don't really care if you die of COVID. Right? Then the same person that said that is dead. Right? Oh, look at me, I got the vax. Greg, where are you now? 6 feet fucking under. Didn't do you any fucking good, did it? Right? We all know what's responsible. It's about time that people fucking woke up, right? You all got duped into taking it. That's fine, fair enough, right? You can be angry later. But right now, the people that are responsible for giving it to you, they have to be fucking investigated. It's as simple as that. Young kids are getting more cancers now than ever. A new report comes out today. And you want to blame everything else. Everything else. Climate change. Heart attacks, climate change. So hold on. I moved to fucking Spain or something. Right? It's the same the heating in your gaff. Oh, don't put the heater on, you get blood clots. So if I go to Spain on a holiday, right, stay there 2-3 weeks, I'm gonna get blood clot. I'm gonna get blood clot. Is that what you're saying now? Because the heat, the heat over there wouldn't be used to it. The feet would probably swell up as well, because not used to the heat. So don't go away on holidays as well, is what you're saying, is it? Morons they are. They're all morons. He's all bought into it. He's all got duped. End of fucking story. It's time for you all to wake up to the fact that people are dropping fucking dead because they took that fucking thing. Right? End of fucking story. Right? I've probably had COVID twice and I'm still fucking here healthy now. Right? I'm good. Right? Didn't need no fucking jab. Right? And for a virus apparently that had a 90 or 80 something percent survival rate or whatever it was, and everybody went down and got a jab for it. And now we got, oh, by the way, have you noticed as well, the 100-day cough used to be called whooping cough or something. Whooping cough. That's back now. We eradicated that years ago. Now it's back. All of these little things are back again. And nobody is questioning where these all coming from. Like, in a modern age of the medicine that we have, wake up, man. Wake up to what's happening, right? And here's the serious reality of it all. Try to murder you all. And they succeeded in some cases, by the way. There's people that have done. I reckon that every single death that has occurred should be looked at suspiciously. Right? These people were healthy beforehand, had no problems beforehand, and then all of a sudden they should be investigated. But they won't. Remember in the early days, they were cremating bodies and people were just, no. We all know what's responsible, right? You can't even say on Elon Musk's free speech app because you throw that shit up, they community note you, right? So he's even in on it as well. Nobody should be listening to that fucking blackguard, right? He's just a fucking spoofer. Free speech in the ass. He's charging for fucking a wake up, right? I still, yeah, my account gets hardly any interaction now, but I refuse to pay. I'm not going to pay him just to get a little bit more interaction. Fuck that shit, right? I'm not paying for something that I didn't have to pay for in the first place. And free speech me ass if you're charging people for it. So shut the fuck. Right? 70% of the population had this job, and 70% of that population are at risk of dropping dead. Right? And that's what they tried to do. Remember, we've always known that the New World Order, right? People can dismiss it all they want, right? It was known as a conspiracy theory back then, but it's not, right? Everything has come to fruition. They need to get us the population down. Simple as that, right? Okay, that's the bottom line, and they'll use anything. And remember, Bill Gates put up a tweet, and then he actually got rid of it. But he was saying that we should try to get the vaccine into our foods. So that murdering prick, right? That's who you're dealing with, right? Now listen, bottom line is this. I do not blame you that fear and the shame led you to get it, right? Don't, it's not your fault, right? Well, it is kind of your fault because you fell for it, right? You should have held your nerve. But bottom line is this, right? It's no time for any of us to say we told you so. The bottom line is now the focus should turn on to people that were openly willing to tell you that this thing was a savior, right? And it was going to save lives, right? It saved fuck all, nobody's life. It saved nobody's life. Because if the virus has the survival rate, and if nobody had taken that jab, we wouldn't be looking at millions of deaths all over the world, let's just say that. Now, cold and flu do have a mortality rate. You look, before COVID happened, people did die of the cold and flu. Some bodies are just not able to handle it, right? That can happen. And some would have died of COVID, absolutely, right? But would as many have died of COVID that did die of COVID if they had actually done their jobs properly? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, right? So as I said, remember one thing, the nurses and the doctors had time to fucking put videos up on TikTok while your loved ones were dying, right? Nobody's ever criticised them. When you all went down and clapped for them. Why are you clapping for them? They were supposed to be doing their job and they didn't do their job. They had time. Apparently the hospitals all over the world were bursting with patients, but those pricks, and remember, they are pricks, had time to do little TikTok dances. And then when they were criticised for, it's to keep the morale up while there's people dying around us. Right? The world's gone too soft. They're fucking professionals. They should have been acting professionals during COVID. Right? They shouldn't have been doing this shit. The Gardaí got in on it, the police got in on it over in the UK. Right? Bunch of fucking idiots, like. Right? There's lots of people that are still working today that shouldn't have jobs. Right? If my loved one had died in a hospital where I saw these fuckers do a TikTok video, right? Every single fucking one of them, right? I would fucking press charges against them all. How fucking dare you do a TikTok fucking video while a loved one of mine is fucking dying? Right? Okay? Fucking absolutely ridiculous. And we know what the left are. No, it's talking conspiracy theory, pseudoscience. No. Listen, guys, right? It's not my fault that you are a bunch of brain dead lunatics that can't understand basic biology, facts, or studies that are done, right? There are studies being done by people that are not being paid by the pharmaceutical companies, like most studies that are done are paid for by the pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so they're not actually going to come out and say, "Oh, the job we gave you is right." Of course they're not. Right? They'll never take responsibility for it. Right? It's only when we get a government in power here, and you get it in the UK and everywhere else, when you have a government in power that can hold these fuckers accountable for what they've done. Other countries are holding them accountable. Right? Pfizer is being fucking sued in some fucking countries. Right? And rightly fucking so. But every one of those chief executives should be fucking locked. The board members should be put in fucking prison. Right? What you don't realise is, right, is what they attempted to do here was mass genocide on a global basis. A global basis. Right? That's how evil these people are that are in power. They decided that your life wasn't worth that. And if you think that any politician that went on camera and actually got the COVID jab live on camera, then you're a fucking idiot. Not one of them got the COVID jab. There are nurses that have actually come out and stated that it wasn't COVID jabs that these leaders have been getting. Remember as well, when they were coming out to the public, they had their masks on. But yet we see footage all over the place where before they come on stage, they're shaking each other's hands and they've got their masks off and they don't give two fucking shits. But apparently this thing is huge and we all should mask up to protect everybody. But yeah, people still bought into it. All the evidence has been there for you since day one. But you see, what happened is that once they got their hooks into everybody and they were able to lock us all down, when the governments actually saw that, right, around the world, they were like, wow, we finally got to a stage where we can control the sheep, right? And that's exactly what they did. They controlled you all, and now this is why they're so open about their plans, because they know they'll get the better of you. But they won't get the better of me and other people like me that think like me, right? Because we'll fight the day we die. For you stupid motherfuckers out there that let all this happen. Right? Should it? Everybody. I was brought up this way as well. You question everything. You question everything. It's the only way you know if you've been told the fucking truth. Right? Question fucking everything. Be self-aware. Look what's going on around you. But that's what we have not done as a society or as a human race in decades, because we've been fed celebrity TV, we've been fed all of this other fucking shit, right? But yes, even though I was fed all of that shit, I still had my eye on the ball though. But other people get so consumed, and we've seen it, right? I mean, this is how stupid this society is. We had Kylie Jenner fans, I think it was in 2022, and she was close to being a billionaire or something like that, or a trillionaire. And our fans set up a GoFundMe page, right? So people could donate money to her so she could make the rich list, right? She'd be top of the rich list. The woman has money coming out of her backside. And they went out like the fucking idiots that they are and begged people for more money for her. And you know what? She'd gladly take that money, by the way. She doesn't give 2 fucks about any of the people. She just wants the money, that family. Listen, I always said this anyway. When reality shows, even though I did enjoy them back in the day, when you had reality shows like, you know, Big Brother, that came along, and then you got that Geordie Shore and Jersey Shore and all of these other fucking half-witted fucking shows that had half-witted fucking people on it that got drunk and had sex with each other, right? That was the downfall of society right there. right? Because everybody was watching that type of shit. Jackass, Dorothy Sanchez, all of that fucking rubbish TV that we grew up to love, right, was the distraction, right? Now that the TV is so fucking shit now, I mean, well, we're still getting distracted because we're talking about it, haven't we? But like, it's not. They were able to control us, and they knew. And then Facebook, things like that came back in the day, and people were openly willing to put their information up on social media. Now people complain about privacy. Well, you decided that you're going to give you all information, and the FBI saw that, and the CIA actually saw that. And they openly talk about that and say that they saw that they were shocked that people would just put their information on social media. So if you don't think those organizations have been using Facebook and all of these other social media platforms to spy on people and all this bollocks, then again, your head's in the clouds. Everything's connected, folks. Everything's connected. You know, they're bringing in new hate speech laws here now to shut me up. Right? I won't be able to say a fucking thing on X, and any posts or videos that I've done on YouTube could be subject to me being sent to fucking prison. Right? But this is what I think of that. Go ahead. You know what I mean? If you think you're going to stop, there'll be another one of me to replace me that will speak up. You start winning this fight. WEF, UN with your agenda and all you other organizations, you ain't winning. You are going to lose this. The people have the power, and we're going to do it. I know he's trying to murder us all, but not all of us were gullible to take the jab. Right? The rest of us are still are fit and able to fucking fight, and we will fucking fight. Right? We will fight this evil. Simple as that. We'll get it out of every fucking country, and then every single one of you scumbags that try to enact all the policies that you have are going to prison. You are going to prison, and you are going to die in fucking prison. You don't win this. You aren't winning this. You aren't winning it. We win this. We're winning this fight. Right? That's why you try to murder half of the population, or 70% of the population, as John said earlier. Right? Because you know the people have the power. Even your man, what's his name, Swab, or as I like to call him, Adolf Hitler's fucking nephew. He's even looking worried now. Right? He's even looking worried now. He's coming out with, going to be pissed off that you're the people that pushing back against you. Like, we're doing it for your own benefit. Even though, like, we're going to strip all your rights away, we're doing it for your benefit. Fuck you, you baldy bastard. Right? You ain't doing nothing for nobody's benefit but yourself and your cronies. That's who you're doing it for. Right? And we ain't going to let you get away with it. You're a bunch of genocidal maniac killers, wherever you want to call yourselves, right? That's what you are, right? Dirty bastards. That's what you are, right? You ain't winning this, right? And then see our migration thing. Yeah, we're going to defeat that first. And once we defeat that, then we're going to defeat you. We're coming after you, and we're going to defeat you. It's as simple as that. And as I said, all the little men and women will be sent to jail, and then the big boys, the big bosses, will be put on trial in front of the whole world, and we will determine what punishment is right for each one of your crimes that you have committed against humanity. You are disgusting, vile pieces of fucking shit, and you do not have say of what we fucking, how we run our country and how we act as a people. End the fucking story. How fucking dare you? I don't know who he thinks he is, and that other bitch in Europe, I don't know who she thinks she is either. Right? They all go around like a bunch of fucking bad Germans, don't they? Like, they act like them anyway. I'm telling you, they probably bleeding have, you know, dirty magazine of Hitler or something. Probably all fucking tossing off to it, a bunch of fucking idiots. Right? I don't care if this stream gets demonetized, right? I actually really don't give two flying fucks, to be quite honest with you, right? Because this has been annoying me. Baldy bastard coming out complaining. Listen, you shut the fuck up. Zelensky, you shut the fuck up as well. You're not getting any more money. right? You got enough fucking money, right? And explain to us as countries how you were able to buy a mansion worth 10 fucking million fucking dollars, right? So where did you get the money for that, you fucking asshole? Because you had no money before this conflict happened. You were living in a fucking shit hole, right? And now you've got mansions driving fancy fucking cars. Right? And then you have people over here complaining, oh, the Irish food is horrible. Go back to fucking Ukraine then. Go back to fucking Ukraine. You have to go back for your medical fucking, your dental work and all of that, hadn't you? You have to go home for Christmas. Well, stay fucking there then. Nobody's asking you to come fucking here. We don't want you fuckers here. Right? What are you doing here anyway? Except taking their fucking homes off people that should be fucking housed here. That's what you are doing. And then you bitch, moan and complain in any country that you are in. Go fucking home and fight for your fucking country. You bunch of fucking cowards. And all you lefty twats as well out there. Palestine be free. Blah, 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 blah. Well, go to fucking Gaza then. Right? Because we're sick of you fuckers as well. Disrupting their fucking life. Go over there. Right, go over there, and all you queers for Palestine as well, just keep saying, you go over there and see how long you fucking last, you bunch of fucking muppets. Right? You won't last 2 fucking minutes over there. And all you big tough Antifa hard men on Irish Twitter going around saying, oh, we're gonna box the head off an Irish fan. Go ahead. Go fucking ahead. Because I tell you one thing, you bunch of fairies, right, you will fucking crumble. You will crumble. And you know what? I force you to go over to the front line. Right? You're that tough, right? You're that tough. You ain't gonna punch the face out. You're that tough. Go over to fucking Ukraine. Fight the Ukrainian front line. Right? If you're so fucking tough, go to fucking Gaza and pick up for the poor Palestinian people that you keep fucking bitching about every fucking day. Go over there. Right? Go on. Go the fuck over there. Sickie is fucking moaning and bitching about them when we've got our own problems in Ireland. You got there's problems in fucking UK. All you people over there as well, man, marching for these lunatics. Have you all forgotten that these are the very same people that voted in terrorists that attacked Israel? Like, are we just going to sweep that under the carpet? Are we? We're going to sweep under the carpet that those people voted in terrorists, right? Just like the German people voted in the Nazi party in the 1930s. It's history repeating itself. But don't talk about right? Sick of this bullshit. Sick of this bullshit. You all need to shut the fuck up, right? You haven't got a clue or anything that's going on over in Gaza. Right? You don't understand the history. I don't understand it either. Even though I know fucking Jewish people have tried to explain it to me, I still don't fucking understand it. Right? But why is are all getting a nosebleed over people that give zero fucks about us? Right? Unbelievable. Right? We had another Irish, I don't know if it was an Irish person, but we had another homeless person die in this country, right? Now, homeless people, you'll say, it might happen in the UK quite a lot. But, you know, we have had Irish people die out in the cold. There was one particular one that actually, well, we got everybody angry for about 5 minutes and then everybody forgot about it. He died right outside or just up the road from government buildings. He froze to death, right? And it looks like the same thing has happened to some poor or unfortunate soul. Because this government's migrant policy is as simple as this. Oh, we'll bring them all in, but we've nowhere to put them, so we'll just put them in tents. But anybody that complains about is a far-right bigot and a racist and needs to shut the fuck up. No, you need to do your fucking job that you were elected to do, right? You're voted and elected to represent the Irish people in the best interest of the Irish people and the country. But again, like the people that are living in their society, you motherfuckers in government are just as bad as everybody else. It's everybody else by the people you should be looking at. Right? Same with every government out there. They're more concerned about all of these motherfuckers that are ripping up passports and all of this shit, committing crimes in other countries, and like they're, oh, shh, you're racist, shh, you're white supremacist, shh, you're far right, shh, you don't know what you're talking about. He says the far right, Leo gets caught out right. He gets questioned on the whole thing about far right narrative, and then he goes, "Oh no, it's not a far right narrative anymore. It's a mainstream narrative now, and we've got to squash all of this misinformation, right? Because it's misinformation. You know what I mean? Like we've been given misinformation for the last few decades, but like people telling the truth is misinformation." You know what I mean? Because we don't give a shit about the Irish people, but shh, don't tell them that stupid motherfuckers. Right? That's how your government acts. Right? Leo, listen, you pile of shit. Right? The first European country that a migrant lands in is the country that they're supposed to stay. Right? Dublin Convention, there's a thing in Europe as well. Right? It is actually true. The misinformation is you're saying it's not true, right? It is true, right? You're lying to the Irish people to the fucking faces. And the fact that you actually had the cheek to say to Grit Media, are you now going to apologise? And no, they're not going to apologise, because you motherfuckers have been putting out misinformation since the COVID pandemic, right? Bunch of murdering bastards in Dáil. Every single fucking one of you. I'll say I don't give a shit if I go to prison for this. These are a bunch of murdering bastards, every single fucking one of you. Right? And every single one of you should spend fucking the rest of your lives behind fucking bars. Right? Simple as fucking that. Right? You've lied to the fucking people. You're a lying cunt. Right? You, Helen McEntee, and all those other fucking rat bags in Leinster House are a bunch of lying twats. Right? And you ain't going to silence us. You ain't going to shut us up. You can push through all the hate speech laws all you want, or ram them straight down your fucking throat. Right? You ain't going to stop me from speaking my fucking mind and complaining about you motherfuckers for not putting the Irish people first. That's what you're elected to do, you fucking muppet. Right? That's what you're elected to do. You're elected by the people of Ireland, for the people. Right? To represent their country, the best interests of our country and our people. Not every other dickhead out there. Right? Don't give a shit what happens in other countries. Right? I give a shit what happens in my country. Right? Listen, I've grown up with politicians lying. Listen, ever since I was born, 79. So 80s in Ireland, corrupt with the politics. The 90s was the same. So look, I've always grown up with corruption in Irish politics, but I've never came across a government that has been not just corrupt, but being openly hostile towards the Irish people and willing to put them in jail for saying the things that I've said tonight. And that's why I'm saying them. You can put me in jail. Fuck it. You want to waste taxpayers' money? What you in for? Because I said a bad word about someone on social media. Go ahead. You waste that money. Go ahead. Because soon enough the people will say, yeah, do you know what? This is ridiculous. We're wasting taxpayers' money they'll even get angry and say, we're wasting taxpayers' money putting someone in jail for speaking his mind. It's not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. Unbelievable. That's all they care about. This is what this is all about. Remember, Sinn Féin was, Ireland for Ireland and start murdering Brits. Do you remember that, Gobster? Because you were in Northern Ireland. They had no problem murdering Brits, right? Because Ireland was for Ireland. But now the new Sinn Féin, Ireland's not for Ireland. Ireland's for everybody else but the Irish, right? So they actually sold out. So again, this is another reason why I detest Sinn Féin, because I never agreed with their tactics, right? I never agreed with the IRA's tactics on what they did up north, right? I didn't, right? That's just me, right? Never liked it, right? But they used people up there. They used the hunger strikers, right? They used Bobby Sands Sinn Féin. They used all of those hunger strikers for their own political gain. And they're doing the same thing here in Ireland. Now they've realised their support has dropped now because they support this migrant thing. But now they're trying to kind of flip it now, kind of say, oh yeah, maybe we should have a debate. You don't trust these snakes, right? The whole lot of them, listen, any Irish person that's in this chat now will agree with me. We expect Fianna Fáil to be cunts, Fine Gael to be cunts, Green Party, Labour, right? We expect them to be the scumbags and the sellouts, right? But the one thing we didn't expect was Sinn Féin to be the sellouts and scumbags. So out of all of the parties out there, Sinn Féin is the biggest cunts out of the whole lot of them because they're the biggest sellouts, because they went and murdered innocent Brits because Ireland was for Ireland. Now they don't have that belief anymore. It's not Ireland for Ireland anymore. It's Ireland for everybody else but the Irish, right? So they've sold out. It's as simple as that, right? They murdered innocent fucking people, right, for political gain up there. It's as simple as fucking that. I've never had respect for that side of it, especially the 70s era of the conflict. That was fucking horrible what happened up there, right? I remember looking at, as a kid, watching these bombs happen in London and all of this shit, man. And I have to say, it never really affected me because I was in Dublin. But even as a kid, I was fucking terrified. Like I did know that me country was troubled. Like, you know, even though I lived down the south, and it didn't really affect me as it did people up in the north and school kids up in the north. But again, Sinn Féin selling out for money now, selling out their own. But I think Sinn Féin are worse. Do you know what though? To me, this is this would be a good enough reason to dispel Sinn Féin from Irish politics completely, because they are sellouts. Because what they done back then was, in my opinion, was disgusting, and they never were held account because both sides of the conflict got prisoners released and all of that. Now they should be all put back in jail, right? And the current members of Sinn Féin all locked up as well, right? Because they're sellout cunts, every single one of them, right? And the fact is, if you're going to go and murder Brits and say, well, it's Ireland for Ireland, and then a few decades later you're going to go back on that, then I think everybody should be sent to prison. I really fucking do. Right? You're going to sell this country up, but you're going to murder people from the UK because you didn't like them, but you like every other dickhead. You have no problem with putting on your Palestinian scarf or wearing a hijab or whatever the fuck now. Is this what we're all about now, is it? Sinn Féin don't represent the people of Ireland. They're in for a shock in the general election. And Leo is talking about how he thinks the current government's going to get back in again. The only way that Leo wins that election is if he rigs that election. Leo's not winning a fair election in 2024. I think he's doing it at the end. He says he's in no rush. See, what he's going to do is he's going to leave it for as long as he can. And he's going to implement all of his policies just in case he gets kicked out. So when the next government come in, then you have a bigger mess to handle. That government collapses then, and then he thinks then the people voting back in. It's not happening, Leo, right? It's not happening. The only way you're winning is doing a Joe Biden, right? That's the only way you're winning this general election, is if you do a Joe Biden. But I think you already are doing a Joe Biden, because you're allowing non-nationals that have come to this country after a certain amount of time to vote in our local and general elections. Now, I'm going to say it out straight. No, non-national should be allowed run in local or general elections, right? We've got a lot of African candidates running. And I would say to those candidates to say, it's great that you want to improve Ireland, fair play, but it's none of your business. Why don't you go home to the country of your birth and actually run for politics there, right? And run to make your country, of your place of origin, the place you were born, a better place. Why is all coming all over Europe and involving yourselves in foreign elections? I don't get that. The US, I don't think allow that, don't they not? I think they'll allow you to be a governor or senator or something like that, but you can't become president. You have to be American. Is not what it is. Something like we should have similar rules here, right? You have to be born on on this island. Simple as fucking that, right? It's simple as fucking that. 3 tours I did there. Yeah, I say it was a fucking. I tell you, man. I used to watch it on the news every night, man. BBC News, Northern Ireland, and then RT News, and every night there was always a bombing. There was always a fucking shooting. There was always someone or a group of people being shot dead. I mean, it was horrible, man. It was horrible. Both sides though were as bad as each other. You know, if you had the people in Northern Ireland, the people in Northern Ireland. Well, they voted anyway in the peace process. So I mean, look, they showed everybody they didn't want this kind of life anymore. I mean, I hope we never have trouble up there again, because I do believe if it starts again, it's going to be worse than what it was in the 70s, and that'd be the problem. But there are tensions growing in Northern Ireland because obviously the two main parties that are supposed to come together to make the government work up there, you know, they're trying to score points off each other. Again, Sinn Féin's involved. But I'm not saying it's just Sinn Féin, because you've got the Ulster Union. Is it the Ulster Unionist Party, whatever they're fucking called nowadays, because they can change their names over the fucking years, all these Ulster fucking parties. Anyway, they need to get their act together, because if they don't, that place is going to implode again. And if it does, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. And then we'll get to a situation in this country where we'll have, well, I actually said it the other day, and I know this is going to be controversial, but, you know, Leo Varadkar was talking about open borders and saying that we don't have open borders, that we have stringent checks at the airports and all this, but that's bullshit. We know it actually is bullshit, so he can say whatever he wants, but we know it's actually bullshit, because his own minister came out and said 62% of people are unvetted, which means 62% of people that come into this country were not fingerprinted, were not fucking had their photo ID taken, like you claim. So again, Leo, you're a fucking liar. But I said close the border between the Republic and Northern Ireland. Now, I know that's controversial, but let me just explain why I think it's important right now. See, what's happening is migrants are coming in from France to the UK, right? Now, they're either moving from England to Wales, or they're going from Wales to Scotland. Then if they're going there, then they go to Northern Ireland, and then they're coming down here, down the south, right? South of the border. So unless the UK and Irish government insist that the two political parties up there get their act together and sort this border crisis out, or I believe that the Irish government should insist that the UK government take action and do something and close that. It has to be closed. But we shouldn't be taking refugees coming down from Northern Ireland. If they land in England or France, I know, listen, we all have our own shit to deal with. We have to deal with shit in everybody's country. I'm not, you know what I mean? But they shouldn't be coming from, especially if yous are having a problem, they shouldn't be coming from our neighbours from across the water. Yous know how dangerous they fucking are, right? They shouldn't be shipped here to fucking Ireland, and yous know that just as much as we do. The people do. Obviously, the governments are different, right? But the Irish government should insist that the British government do fucking something, because it shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. There should be no migrants coming through Northern Ireland down the south, right? It was the IRA who were the problem back then. So many places over here that they bombed, so many innocent people lost their lives. Exactly. I mean, they did do damage. I remember the bomb in the 90s. Do you remember the Manchester Wharf bomb? I remember breaking. I was actually awake because it was New Year's Eve, wasn't it, when that bomb went off? And I mean, we were all in shock over here. Like, we couldn't believe that the IRA had broken into their sea. Well, we kind of knew that they were going to break another ceasefire, but political parties were making us feel there was a bit of optimism that it might actually happen. But the IRA didn't. They did what they did, and we saw the consequences of it, didn't we? But we did get to a place where there's relative peace up there. I'm not saying everything has disappeared, because there's shit happening behind the scenes that nobody really talks about. But you know, it's good that there are. You know, it had to take the political leaders or these scumbags that were killing each other to come together for this to work, though. And we can't deny that. You know, I might detest certain parties now, but at the time, you know, they brought that community together, and you know, Northern Ireland was, I think it's always been Israel, hasn't it? Gaza, the Gaza Strip, and then Northern Ireland. When it comes to world news, these were the things that featured very heavily. And a lot of people do use Northern Ireland as an example of how people can actually coexist together. But I disagree with that. So you think about it, is it worked in Northern Ireland because the will of the people made it work. It wouldn't happen in Israel. It wouldn't happen on the Gaza Strip, because you don't have the will of the people. And that's the difference. You need the people to come together, and that's what they did in Northern Ireland. They came together and demanded that these people work together for the betterment of Northern Ireland, right? But it wouldn't be the same. So you can't compare. And a lot of people in the media try to use the Northern Ireland thing as an example. Don't. It's a very poor one anyway. The whole thing with the Gaza Strip and Palestine and all of that is a lot more complicated than it was in Northern Ireland, right? The Northern Ireland thing was based on religion and stuff like that. It's not just based on religion over there. There's multifacets that they have, multifaceted problem they have over there. That whole situation over there never gets resolved, by the way, just to let you know. Even though the Israeli president will come out and tell you that, Prime Minister will come out and tell you that, you know, after he gets rid of Hamas, then the people will be, but the people are being radicalized. So that problem never is actually going to be solved, unfortunately. So this thing, and even if they do smash Hamas, they might have a couple of years of peace and then something else, because the people are being radicalized, you see, as I said. So, you know, that's never getting sorted over there. But it's just sickening the way this world has gone. I'm just totally fucking disgusted at people. Saw the picture Teddy you posted on Twitter. How is he? Yeah, he's doing great. That picture was taken. When was that picture taken? I think it was taken in 2023, just at the end. I think I took it while I was sick. That was him when I think I was sick, and he was trying to cheer me up, and he gave me this, and I never get a decent photograph of Teddy laughing or smiling. Actually, it wasn't. It was the 4th of January, so it's not. That's the different one. But yeah, but he is sitting beside me there, because you can see me green pillow in the background, and that's him on me blue blanket there. And yeah, he was giving me. It was the first time I actually got, because Cheryl will tell you, little Teddy hates photographs. He keeps avoiding the camera when I try to take a photo. He's the most frustrating dog, actually, to take a photograph of. Do you know where you see all these lovely puppy? That's why I put up. People always say to me about the videos of other dogs. Like, I get that. Why did you put videos up of other dogs and not your own? Like, well, that's because Teddy won't let me take a video of him. Ted will deliberately, right? If he sees me camera phone in my hand, right, and I say, "Look at Daddy," right, he will turn his head the opposite direction, because he knows I'm trying to take a photograph of him. And then it's even worse when I tried to take a video, right? I'll give you a laugh. Tried to take a video for him of him last week, right? She was in the room, she wasn't well, because as she said, both of us were sick, right? But I brought him down because I had a bit of energy, and I brought him down, and he came in, he was all excited because he did his business and all of that, and he was all chuffed, and I given him a treat. So he's there, he's wagging his little nub, his little tail, as we call it, his little nub. Right? So he's wagging away and his tongue sticking out and he's giving it loads. And I'm like, come here, Teddy. Right? And I take out the fucking phone. Do you know what he did? Right? Without even getting his treat, he walked right by me, the camera phone, and straight out the sitting room door to go into the bedroom to shower because he didn't want me to take a video of him. Cheryl is the only one that can normally get videos and photographs of Ted. He just won't let me do it anymore. He used to let me do it before she came on the scene, but he doesn't let me do it anymore now. It's either Cheryl takes a photograph of him or there's no photograph or video happening. So yeah, I was delighted I was able to get that because I was still a bit sick, and to be quite honest with you, little prick is always trying to cheer me up when I'm sick. That's the one thing I'll say about him. When you're sick, he knows you're sick, he knows you're not well, so he'll come over and he'll try to comfort you. He'll literally go right up. He'll sit up on the sofa with you, right, and then he'll squash himself into your chest, right, and he lay his head there just to keep you warm because he knows you're sick. I mean, he's good like that. I have to say, he can annoy me at times with his barking because the squirrels fucking out there and there's nothing we can do about them. But we've got squirrels running around the place, and he's not a fan of them because they make a lot of noise. So he's always barking. But he's not the worst I've ever had, got to be honest. So yeah, today was the first time we left him on his own for a while we went into the city centre. So we got back as soon as we got everything done. See, I kind of knew what I was going into the city centre for, so I knew I needed a new pair of jeans and a t-shirt. As I said, the t-shirt I'm actually wearing now, but just realised the camera's gone off. So I got this t-shirt today. It's another me Pickle Rick. So it's a Rick and Morty t-shirt. There was a white one, but they didn't have my size. So I'm actually, yeah. One more thing I just want to add, actually. I remember when I used to go to Primark, as you call it over in the UK, we call it pennies here. There were 3 sizes, no, 4 sizes. There was 5 sizes. Sorry, there was small, medium, large, extra large, and then there was double extra large or something like that. Right? I'm looking at the t-shirts. Three times extra large. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I've noticed, man. Right? Hate to say it, but I think Irish people have gotten a little bit fat or something because like the sizes have gotten really, really fucking big. I was bleeding shocked. I'm there all chuffed with myself, picking up me size because I've gone from I actually could have got a medium in this because it's a little bit big, actually, believe it or not. You can't see it because of the black, but I said I wanted it a bit baggy anyway. I like my t-shirts a bit baggy anyway, but I could have went with medium. So I'm gone down to a medium. The jeans size has gone down 2 jeans size. I've gone down 2 jeans sizes as well. So I was actually just on there, like picking out my jeans, me yoke. Then I got a jacket as well. I'm chuffed with myself, looking at all these other things. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, people they've just lost the plot. Mum and Dad's dog used to do the same. Dogs can sense when you're unwell. Exactly. No, he's good like that. I have to give it to him. Even when Cheryl, but God love him because he didn't know what to do because two of us were sick at the same time. So he'd spend most of the time with her, but then when she came out to get a drink or something, because we had to stay in two separate rooms because just in case she had COVID or I had the other thing or she had the other thing and I had COVID, we just stayed separate. We didn't interact much in the same room, if you know what I mean, because we didn't want it to get any worse. So when Ted came in to me, like she'd literally make herself a hot drink. Uh, he'd jump up on the sofa to me then, and then I'd get a couple of minutes with him, and he'd be literally lying on me here, and I'd have to rub him. He'd be digging his head in, try cheer me. I'm like, Ted, come on now, I'm not well. And he's like, he's there, he's rubbing me face and all, digging his head into me face. I'm grand, Ted, I'm all right. You have to tell him because he gets really riled up. He does. He's mad, but yeah, as I said, I hate people that, me and Cheryl just saw something the other day. I knew it was going to happen. That's why I mentioned it over the Christmas. People abandoning their dogs and the puppies that they got for their kids because they realise that, it's more of a. Listen, a dog is not a present, right? A dog is a commitment, right? And if you're not willing to make that commitment, right, you shouldn't be getting a dog. It's as simple as that. Pets in general, cats are a little bit more easier, right? But with dogs, you have to give them attention. Dogs are like babies, okay? Okay, so you have to look after them, right? When they're sick, they can't tell you that they're sick and all of this. You have to look after them, okay? The fact that people, good night, Nigel. The fact that people, buy dogs without even thinking of the consequences of buying a dog. It fucking annoys me. Um, so I saw another thing. Someone threatening to kill people's dogs and all that. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, you go ahead. Try that with someone that's had dogs all their lives, right? Right. Dog is not just a dog, right? To me, right? I've had Ted a long time, right? He's a family member. Okay, he's an annoying little shit like a family member. He makes me smile like a family member, make me laugh, cheer me up. Right? He's not a pet. I don't even consider Ted a pet anymore. Right? Obviously, when I first got him, I was living on my own and I wanted a bit of company. But a bond grew between the two of us. Me and the dog were inseparable at one stage, and then of course Cheryl came into our lives, and now I'm kind of like in the background now. It's like, I had this thing with Ted, now it's gone, But I'm not jealous in any way because she had lost her dog, as you all know. She told us that story, and the fact that she's been even able to interact with another dog because she was totally devastated, you know, uh, is a miracle. So I don't care that Ted likes spending time with her. They've helped each other, because Ted had his own issues even before I got him. He was a dog that had a lot of issues and needed a lot of. I mean, I hate to dread to think what would have happened to Ted if I hadn't have took him. He probably still wouldn't be around. So he's a little, to me, he's a miracle dog, you know. And you've all seen him. He's a pain in the hole, right? He's fidgety sometimes, but he's just, I mean, even when we come back, right, because we had him in his bed and we have it zipped up so we can't get out and wreck the place, right? But we have his bowls in there as well. It's a place to put his bowls, so his water and his food, stuff. So literally come in the sitting room door, opened it, and there he is scratching at the, yeah. And I'm like, oh, we're home, Ted, we're home. Right, I opened the thing, and I mean, he jumped all over me. And then he realised that Mammy wasn't in the room, and he was like, where's Mammy? Go straight to the bleeding door. I had to open the door for him, and then he sees her then, and he's like, but they're great, man. They're great. So yeah, I don't like anybody that, I hate people that say, I remember when our family dog died. Ted is my dog, but we had a family dog for 16 years. And I remember one of the neighbours saying, "Oh, what you all getting upset for? It's just a dog." Whoa. I was like, okay, you might think of your dogs that way and have zero respect for them. But we love their dog. We've had this dog 16 years, and this dog was a family member. So if you can't say that nice, shut the fuck up and move on. And by the way, I did say that. I did say that. It was the first time I'd seen me dad break down when he lost that dog, right? And that woman then coming out with that vile shit as we're walking in with his dead body because we buried him out the back garden. And she cut it. And what he's getting on, it's just a dog. Don't even go there with me. That's the thing about dog lovers. People don't realise, right? There are pieces of shit out there that buy dogs for other reasons, right? But there are people like us that get dogs and bring dogs into our home because we want them to be part of our family, right? And they do become valuable members of our family, and we really care about them. So yeah, people will probably criticize me, when Ted passes away, blah blah blah, say he's having a meltdown. Yeah, I don't give a shit. That's why I won't be streaming, man. I won't be even in a mental state to stream, right? That dog has meant a lot to me, right? He's our dog, and he's done a lot for Cheryl as well, So yeah, I don't think Cheryl would be as sane as she is if it wasn't for Ted. To be quite honest with you, with all the shit that she's had to put up with, and you all know what shit I'm talking about, right? So Ted has helped her quite a lot, and especially moving over to a country like this, when she met me as well, right? Ted was that little kind of, it was more easy for Cheryl to be here because what I wasn't just here. She had a little friend as well because Ted took to her straight away. By the way, as soon as I introduced Cheryl to Ted, that was it. I was out of the picture. I have to make that clear. Like I was totally out of the picture. Like she came along, that was it. Like I even remember, like he used to lie on the sofa that night. He wouldn't even lie on the sofa with me. He was all over her, and that was it. That was it. So so as I said, I kind of at first, obviously at first I was a little bit, but then I said to myself, you know what, Ted loves her. She loves Ted. At the end of the day, I've had 4 years with him before she came along. It's not as if he doesn't like me, he just prefers her. So I got over it pretty quick now. So now, when any time he does come over to me now, I make sure that, obviously I give him the attention because he gives me his limited time. He's like, now, Daddy, you can give me attention now, Daddy. And then when I'm finished with you, Daddy, then I'm gonna give Mommy all the attention. I was upset when her cat died. I was very close. So exactly, man. They do. They look at cats and dogs. I'm not a cat person, right? But I know people that have cats have told me this. But dogs are the same. Listen, dogs can sense when you're not right. Right? Dogs and cats, they're the same. They could sense when you're not well. They could sense when you're not in good. The dogs, no, they're very clever. You know. Yeah, I remember being upset one time and Ted just coming over, looking up at me with those big dopey eyes that he has. And he's like, well, pick me up so I can lick the face off you and make you feel better. I pick him up and he's all over me to try and cheer me up. But what he doesn't realise is I was actually getting emotional because I was watching something on fucking telly. It wasn't that I should have been getting upset about, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've gotten older and I've gotten very emotional or something. But yeah, fucking funny, man. Funny. And I sound like, I'm all right, buddy. I'm all right. And he's like, "Rrr." I'm like, I'm grand. I'm grand. Yeah. Oh, anyway, yeah, I didn't mention it, so I suppose I should mention it. So obviously, it was supposed to stream yesterday with Queen Charlotte, PD Rich, but we were having, well, I was having multiple issues. I was having issues with the internet, couldn't get my computer to go, and also, to be quite honest, I was feeling a bit drained, and I just said, you know what, if I'm not 100%, I shouldn't do it because I'll just be sitting there and I'll probably be yawning away. But I got up. I went to bed early last night, and I got up early, so I actually felt a little bit better today. So as I said, we're easing ourselves back in. But I wanted to do a stream tonight either way. No matter what I was going to talk about, I was going to come on and do a stream anyway because I have missed doing this. I have to be honest. I haven't been well. You could probably still hear it in my voice. Not 100% quite yet, but it's not bad that I need to take me Lensips or take painkillers anymore. I've gotten over the worst of whatever this was that I have because I don't know what it was because I'm not obsessed with doing a COVID test. I don't give a shit if it was COVID, right? But whatever I had was horrible, right? And I was and it made me bedridden, right? I couldn't get out of bed and my Christmas was ruined, right? But I'm okay now. Actually, we went and we had a nice little meal today because Christmas was ruined because the both of us were sick. So we sat down and we had something nice to eat. I had a got a meat. Now I didn't go to a fast food place, but I did get myself a proper strawberry milkshake. And I'm there and I'm drinking away at the strawberry milkshake, right, and eating the food that we got and stuff like that. So the bill comes, right, and it's just there because we've paid already, and I just see the bill, and I don't normally pick it up, but because we just leave we just leave. You know what I mean? But I said I'll pick it up. So I'm having a look, right? And I'm looking at the prices, and I'm like, yeah, that's grand, that's grand, that's grand. And the bottle of Coke that she got, and then I'm like, okay. And then I look at the milkshake, and I'm like, seven quid, 7 quid for a 7 quid for a milkshake. Seven, 7 quid for a milkshake. I drank a seven. I've never drinking a 7 quid milkshake in all my life. I'm not messing, right? Because like I like this milkshakes at McDonald's. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I think they're lovely. I think they're the best milkshakes you can actually get. Like it's the only decent thing that I think. Well, I do like that fillet of fish. I do like that burger because it's simple. But I do like their milkshakes. I've always liked strawberry, and same with their strawberry sundaes. It's strawberry sundae for me and strawberry milkshake. I know there's like caramel and all that crap and fudge. No, I've always been a strawberry sundae guy, but same with the milkshakes. So the strawberry milkshakes at McDonald's, as you know, they're not really that expensive. But when I look, 7 fucking quid. Now the glass was huge. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, there's big blobs of fucking ice cream and all in this fucking thing. I mean, it was a proper fucking milkshake. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, looking at the receipt and I'm like, is that a 7 quid milkshake? Like I've worked as a chef, as you all know, and I've worked in the industry, but I'm just looking at this. Is that a 7 quid milkshake? I say unless the syrup that they're using or the strawberry, if the strawberries are fresh, they've made their own syrup, then I could understand it. But if it's some generic strawberry fucking syrup that you get out of the main street, then 7 quid for a fucking milkshake. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you though, it mightn't have looked a 7 quid milkshake, but I would probably have to admit that it probably tasted like a 7 quid milkshake because it was fucking gorgeous. I actually spent more time on the milkshake that by the time I went to eat my burger was cold because I loved the milkshake so much. 14-year-old Jack Russell Terrier. I had her for 12 years since I was 9. She passed away late 2021. I miss her. So Starlick Russell. I know that's what. Look, I would never, and I never have I never take the piss out of anybody when they lose a dog. I remember even, and I don't even like this guy myself, but I remember when the quartering dog died. He did a video and he got very emotional while he was talking about his dog, and I understood it, of course. Then I'm seeing people in the comments say, "Oh, look, I'm getting upset over it," and I'm like, "Oh, you fuck! Oh, you know what? I just wanted to grab someone and just shake them, say, it's not just a fucking dog, you stupid fuck! Get that through your fucking thick skull." Like, I get it, man. It does have profound. But listen, let's not talk about, because she hears us talking about shit like that, she start getting upset and all that, and I don't want that shit. You know, because she doesn't even want to think about him, because you know, he's coming towards that time in the next few years. So we don't want to be thinking about that. I'm with you now. Strawberry milkshake is the best. I know, that's what I mean. I have to say, in Ireland, it's not. That's the thing. I was always the odd one out. Like me friends would get the different milkshakes, but I always got strawberry milkshake. Strawberry. It's just it's all strawberry. Yeah, but that's not the kind of milkshake Khalees was talking about. Fuck's sake. I mean, if you even the lyrics to those songs, you actually know what the meaning is. It's actually disgusting. But anyway, milk is going up in price. All dairy is being affected. Yeah, I said that to Sharon a couple of weeks ago because she sent me to the shop to get milk because she can't get me out of the house, right? As you all know, like I hardly. So I went to the shop, right, and I came back and I says, when did cheap milk become the same price as the name brand milk? And she goes, it's been like that for a while. I'm like, what's happening? The cows, what is it? Is it more expensive now because of the carbon shit? Is that what it is? Is that how they're going to screw us over now? Right. Well, they're a bunch of fucking idiots because we need more carbon, not less. I always used to have a strawberry milkshake from McDonald's. I know the milkshake's out of McDonald's, but the milkshake I had today, I'm not going to lie, it was heaven. It was. It was for that fucking price. That's all I'm complaining about. Like, was it a seven quid milkshake? I don't think so. Her beer was cheaper. Her beer was cheaper than my milkshake. And then she goes, you should have got a beer. Well, I didn't want a beer. I wanted a strawberry milkshake. Madness. But I have to say, the meal was lovely. You know, as I said, I kind of ruined Christmas dinner because I was sick. And my heart wasn't just in it this year. Got to be honest, I was just fucking like all you know leading up to it. I was all excited. I was literally Christmas Eve. I could feel something coming on. Christmas Day, I woke up and I was awful. I knew by Christmas night I was going to be in bits. And throughout the farm, Christmas evening, I was coughing. I was getting sick. All of a sudden, then my body just completely broke down. Not telling you a lie, completely broke down. And then for that next week, I was in bed. I could not move. The only time I moved was to go to the toilet or to get some food into me, some sort of food into me. I drank a lot of soup over that time. Maybe that's why I lost the amount of weight that I did. I'll probably put this back on now in a couple of weeks. I'm here bragging about how many jeans are great. Well, you say I'll probably pile it back on again now that I can eat again. Um, but that was whatever I had over that was horrible, and it's only gone now. That's what I'm saying. I've had it ever since Christmas Day, all the way up still to this day. It's just not as bad now. Like that's why I felt comfortable enough to go out, but I'm still throaty and nosy and stuff. Whatever this fuck, if it is COVID, can I just tell you, right? Because I definitely had it one time where I thought I was actually gonna die. To be quite honest, which I was really bad. The first time, because obviously it was the first strain, wasn't it? And the first one is always worse than the ones that they say after, because they kind of get less, less, less potent as the strains. go on, even though the media will tell you different. But whatever this one was, it was a piece of piss. So if it's the 100, it can't be the 100 cough because I'm still not coughing. So it definitely wasn't that. So it had to be that. It probably that again, a different form of it. But I was grand. Yeah, it's a pain in the hole, but I could still breathe through my nose and stuff like that. I could still sleep. It was just the aches, the pains, the sweats, and then whatever else was happening to me body. Pain in the hole. I have to be honest. But people say if I had got it, it would have made the symptoms less. Well, if that's what you are bitching about, if they're the symptoms of the new one, because I definitely got the old one, and I got the old one that was pretty bad, and I'll admit the first one was worse. This was a piece of piss. Nobody needs to be getting the right, especially if you've already gotten the, because you're already dead. So don't actually, help them finish you off by going to get another one. But I've seen people bragging about the fact, oh, look, I got my certificate. I got the. Well done. Well, let's see how long you last. Oh, all you anti-vaxxers, we should take your rights away. That guy was some years, as I said, 6 feet under. Didn't do great for you. Do you remember that author came out and she slagged us all, said that her rights and all should be taken away, and then she just, yeah. No, farmers have a strict quota they have to follow. Now they have to dump hundreds and hundreds to thousands of milk, depending on the size of the farm, to stay below the quota or risk paying fines. I know, yeah, it's stupid. Irish farmers have been doing it for decades, though. That's the thing. Because we've had that over here for decades. So I remember the dairy farmers when I was growing up were pissed off with the Irish government. But as soon as we joined, you see, this was the whole thing. Europe fucked us all up because the farmers now under European law and they have to, which is funny because we'll have a certain quota here, but then another country, another farmer will have a higher quota. The Irish farmers seem to get screwed over just like the fish. The worst thing we did was get involved in this ECC, right? That's what it was called back in the day, right? It was supposed to be all about trade, and that was it. But as soon as they start moving from that, it became the European Economic Community or whatever it fucking then became. That's when then government should have fucking copped on to what was going on and pulled out. Right? It was supposed to be just for trade. Irish. I'm not just saying this because of Ireland, because I'm Irish, but it is true. Irish fishermen and Irish farmers have been screwed over more by the European Union than any other farmer out there in any other European country. They've been screwed over time and time again. The problem with Irish farmers is as Irish farmers used to have backbone, right? Because back when I was growing up, farmers were always out protesting, and rightly so, right? But they're not doing the protests that they used to do. You've got all these new lefty farmers now and all this. Oh yeah, we'll go down with the carbon route and all the low carbon route and all of this other shit. So the farmers, listen, you see the farmers in Germany, you've seen the farmers in Netherlands. Do you see the farmers in Ireland doing the same thing? Absolutely not, no. Because as I said, the farmers in Ireland unfortunately don't have any backbone anymore in this country. It's like the people in Ballinaroe who actually fell for the Sinn Féin infiltrating a protest and told, oh no, we'll house women and children. And they fell for it. And now the protest was called off. Do you know what I mean? Because people are being duped because it's still fucking stupid. Wake up and smell the coffee. They're gonna put migrant men in there. And for anybody saying that they're going to make sure that it's women and children coming into the country, it won't be just women and children. Because sure, no women and children are coming into the country unless they're Ukrainian or Roma Gypsy. Right? Show me the African men and women that are coming to the country. It's mostly African men. Men from Albania, men from different parts of Europe. Right? India. In early 2022, we got 2 chihuahuas. Terriers get crazy. Yeah. I wouldn't do those dogs. To be quite honest, they look like little rats to me. But I say they're fun. I say it again, Germany lost both World War One and Two with military force, so they use politics this time. The EU HQ is in Germany. I said that. It's a thing that I've been saying since the 90s, man. That's exactly what they did. They tried to take over the world, two world wars. They failed. So they went down the political route and they succeeded. So they got what they want. They got what they wanted in the end. Let's be honest about it. That's what Hitler wanted. He wanted Germany to be the main superpower in Europe, right? And all of the other European countries to basically bow to his will. This is what's happened. This is what's happened. They just did it through politics, as you said, absolutely spot on. But people out there, Nicholas, unlike me and you, they're not as smart as me and you, because most of the population out there are a bunch of brainwashed sheep. And we can actually say it's most of the population. Because if you look at the figure or the percentage of the amount of people that got vaccinated on this planet, well, we could say that the majority of the planet are a bunch of fucking sheep. So I always said that Europe was a bad thing. When the Irish people actually voted no to the Nice Treaty the first time, I was delighted. Then the Irish government wouldn't accept that, and Europe wouldn't accept it. So they bribed the Irish government to force the Irish people to vote yeah. And guess what happened? The brainwashed fucking idiots. I wasn't old enough to vote, I don't think, for that referendum. They voted. They voted yes, and they gave in. You put a bit of pressure, but this time it's different with the Irish people. Irish people have been put under pressure now the last couple of years with all of this stuff that's happening right now. And we're not down to the pressure, and there's more people that have joined the movement now. There's parts of the country that are protesting that I never thought would protest. Carlow, places all over Ireland now. The leftist narrative, listen, I said this last night, I said it at the time, and I'm going to say it again. And to any lefty twat that's listening to me from the Republic of Ireland, let me tell you how you've lost this, right? Because I like to brag about this, but it's true. The day that you've lost this will be a date that I actually have. Actually, the date that you've ruined, that you've destroyed yourselves in this country is the same date of the anniversary of my favourite TV show, which is Doctor Who, which is the 23rd of November. So on the 23rd of November 2023, outside the school in Pear Street, 3 children and a creche worker were stabbed by a migrant that was living in this country for 10 years. What preceded it was an angry confrontation between the cops and parents originally that had turned up that were disgusted about what had happened outside the school. Then a few opportunist teenagers decided that this would be the perfect time to go and start looting and destroying the place, right? But this is when he's lost. He's lost when he didn't come out and criticise the fact that 3 kids were stabbed outside the school, the creche worker. He was more concerned about the people that were reporting on it and claiming that the far right had an agenda. Then obviously the looting had happened. And then you spent several weeks after the looting, which was the next day, or that night I should say, as the looting was happening, is were coming out and saying, oh, the far right, the far right, the far right, the far right, the looting, the far right. 3 kids and a creche worker got stabbed in the Republic of Ireland, and you were more concerned about the looting and the rioting that went on, and the fact that a police car and a bus and a tram were set up in flames. 3 kids and a creche worker. I'll say it again, because in a normal civilized society, when I say 3 kids and a creche worker were stabbed outside the school, people would be shocked and horrified by that. But no, you communists that live in our country were more concerned about the looting and the rioting that went on. So the 23rd of November 2023 is when the leftist narrative was completely destroyed, and when you fuckers revealed yourselves to the whole country of what you were really about, you care more about other people than you our own. Okay? When Ashley Murphy was murdered, a far-right narrative, right? When our boyfriend made a statement and came out and actually said the things that we were saying, oh, he's just upset with emotion, but he's a racist. He's a fucking racist. He's just shut his mouth. He's not doing the country any good by coming out that his girlfriend was fucking murdered by someone. Right? And I tell you, if that happened to me and a foreign cunt did that to my wife, that's exactly what I'd be telling the whole people of Ireland. The Irish government have failed to protect my fucking wife, my family. Right? So that's when he's lost. He's lost on the 23rd of November 2023. 2024 is a victory lap for us, right? We're going to win. We're going to win seats in government, right? We're going to make sure that this current government is out on their ear. You have lost. You have lost. And it'd be great the longer he leaves the general election, right, to the end of if he leaves it to the end of 2024, that's great. It gives more of our candidates a time to get themselves prepared for the battle at the end of the year, right? There'll be two battles going on. One over in America to see who they're going to vote as the next president, and here the future of Ireland is up for grabs, right? If Leo and his cronies get back in, kiss the Republic of Ireland goodbye, kiss your Irishness goodbye, because in 20 to 30 years' time you'll be fucking replaced, right? There'll be no Indigenous Irish people living on this fucking land anymore. And they could say that it's fear mongering and the over exaggerating. How many hundred thousands of people have we taken in? You think they're all going to come in and stay celibate and not have babies, right? And you think we're all that fucking tick? So the Roma gypsies that are over here have multiplied since they came over here. What do they actually add to Irish society rather than breed, steal, rob, prostitution? What do they actually add? What jobs do? They don't do fuck all. They hang around Henry Street and Grafton Street and all those other places, O'Connell Street. It's like a fucking third world fucking country. What do they actually do? Did they add nothing to our society? Right? Absolutely zero. And they're the people that should be fucking thrown out. People that add zero to this society and add zero to this country. Right? It's as simple as that. Right? And the kids, do you think the kids are going to be working if their parents don't work? No. The kids will just be as lazy as fucking them. Then when they get old enough, then they'll have their own fucking kids. Right? We're going to be replaced. Right? That's why I upset the people, because there's still people out there believing that this is a fight that we can't win. We've already won. We won on that date. The left exposed themselves. The left were more concerned about the looting and the rioting that went on, rather than the fact that 3 kids and a creche worker were stabbed outside the school in Dublin. And then let me tell you something, right? They were complaining about the fact that the imaginary far right were near the crime scene. Where was your outrage when you saw the photograph or the video footage the next day outside the school of the alcoholic who had pissed himself outside the very same fucking school that was a crime scene 24 hours beforehand? Right? So a drunk is outside the fucking school, outside the door, sitting down, drunk out in his head, pissed himself. Right? If that happened in the UK, I said this, and people from the UK will back me up on this. If 3 kids and a creche worker were stabbed outside the school in England, the British government would have put out a terror alert and would have put other schools on high alert or made schools close down. What did they do in this country? Absolutely fuck all. Absolutely fuck all. The next day, as I said, a drunk was pissing outside the fucking school. Pissed himself. Right? So the left lost the fight on that date. They don't actually realise, but that's when they actually lost this whole narrative. And people can see them for what they are. And you'll notice as well, they continuously, detest, look, the majority of Irish people don't give a shit what's happening in Gaza. Right? You ask the majority of Irish people, they won't give a shit. They give a shit what's happening in their own country. Right? These lefty lunatics, right, are out marching for Palestine all the time. The Irish people are getting fed up with them. They're getting annoyed with them and sick of them, right? They see what they're all about now. They're for anybody but the Irish, right? Okay, do you know what? The outrage is so selective as well because a lot of the Christians were killed over in Africa, right? But they won't mention where's the flags for them and the protests for them, you bunch of fucking morons. Nah, they only protest and virtual signal certain things, folks, right? Certain things because there's an agenda behind the reason why they pick certain things. Okay. Do you notice how none of them talk about Ukraine anymore? Do you remember they were all about Ukraine? Now they stopped talking about Ukraine, right? As soon as something else happens as well, by the way, Gaza and what's happening, what Israel are apparently doing, and all of this, and ignored what Hamas is doing, right? Trust me, man. As soon as something else happens, which I think the next thing will be China and Taiwan. Wait and you see, they'll be come out and they'll be supporting China, not Taiwan. They'll come out and support China, right? It's China is right, because they all want to be communists, right? They all want to be like the Chinese. They want Europe to be a communist fucking super fucking power, right? That's where we're heading. We got a lot of communists in Ireland. Like, never thought I'd see the day I'd see a bunch of communists and Nazis in Ireland. But there you go, I see them every day. And yeah, I'm right. Well, apparently I'm right wing. I'm the racist bigot and all of this crap. Yeah, but you're going out and you're marching for people that voted in terrorists that killed innocent people. Well done, you bunch of fucking virtual signal little assholes. I don't give two fucks about what's happening over there. I really don't. I care what's going on in my own country. Irish people dying. The future of my country. The future of my people. Right? Every time another conflict starts, right? Us in Europe, right? If America starts a war or Britain starts a war, right? It's the rest of the countries in Europe like us that have to suffer. Because when a war happens, we get more added on to our bills, air, food, and all of this shit. Stop the shit. Cut it out. Okay? We're done. Right? We're done paying for your wars. Bunch of fucking morons. Right? All of these, remember Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV? Right? That's what we should have for all of these world leaders, right? If Putin and Zelensky want to fucking have a go at each other, let them have a go at each other in a boxing fucking ring or an octagon, right? And sort out our issues there, right? That's what we should do. We should make all of these world fucking leaders. You have a problem with another world leader, okay, you get in the fucking octagon with him and you kick the shit out of him then. And then the winner gets to decide what the fuck or whatever policy they want or whatever the fuck, right? That's how they should sort out their fucking business. Because I'm sick and tired, don't know about you, but all I've ever fucking grown up with is wars and how it affects my fucking wage and affects how I pay my fucking bills. And I'm sick and tired of it all, right? I'm sick and tired of it all. No, we shouldn't be paying for no people in Ukraine, giving them 5 billion. Giving them fucking tossers 5 fucking billion, they're going home. Fuck off. Right? So yeah, I will openly say, fuck Ukraine and fuck Palestine, fuck the whole lot of them, right? The only country I care about is mine, right? And that's the attitude you should all have, is our own countries. Get all of these scumbags out that are ruining your fucking country, right? That are trying to tell you English people, I mean, you got fucking people on TV telling you like that she's a racist. Are you going to tolerate that shit? How long are you going to be tolerate being called racist? Listen, we know the English people themselves are not the bunch of racists that are made. It's the government and the systems that were in place. Because let's be honest, the British, British Empire were racist, right? Simple as that. But it was the establishment, not you guys. But you people need to get out there now. You need to defend your country. You need to stop these fucking lunatics from going on. I hate the royal family. I hate everything that Britain stands for. But yeah, I will take the money and I will live here, but I'll spit and shit all over its people and tell them how much of a racist fucking bunch of twats they are. Like, seriously. When are people going to say, Stephen Oil, when are people going to say, shut the fuck up, it's nothing to do with you, what happens in this country? right? If you don't like this country, if you think this country is racist, well, go back and move back to your own fucking country where you came from then. Right? Simple as fucking that. You came here for a better life and now you're dictating to us that you don't like the way we run our country, so you think we should fucking bow down to you motherfuckers. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I'm sorry. If you don't like the country you live in, well then nobody is forcing you to stay here. Right? Get on a plane, get on a boat. I don't care what the fuck you do. Get out. Simple. Ukraine, I mean, the Ukrainians are worse, right? Because the reason why I have such disdain for the people, and I do, for the people, I'll say it out straight, they're scam artists, most of them, right? They're all over Irish social media, right, after getting a house off the government and renting out rooms to other people and charging $3,000 a bleeding room, right? It's all for making money. They're sending all that money back to Ukraine anyway. And then their governments are giving them billions on top of that as well. I don't think people realise that. The Polish were doing the same when they were over here. They were sending their social welfare back to Poland. Right? The Ukrainians are doing the same. The Ukrainian country, before the war started, the country was bankrupt. Now it's one of the richest countries in fucking Europe. Right? He has a fucking £25 million debt, as I told you. He hadn't got it before he actually won the election, but now he has 25 million villa. And he's driving fancy fucking cars, right? We have Ukrainians over here driving fancy BMWs and cars. Nobody questions it because they're from a war-torn country. No, they're not. There's no war happening over there. Putin went over to take out neo-Nazis, right? The neo-Nazis are actually in Ukraine. These are all back in the wrong fucking horse. So fuck Ukraine. Up Russia. Come on, Putin, destroy them. Yes, I am live. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't care what YouTube says. It's the truth. Don't care. Don't care if you don't agree with me. They're my opinions. I'm not holding back on them anymore. Fuck Ukraine. Up fucking Vladimir Putin. I hope you destroy them all. Get those neo-Nazis out of Ukraine. Right? Because there was your government and fucking media were talking about the neo-Nazi problem in Ukraine, but as soon as the Ukrainian-Russian war, wink, wink, happened, everybody was saying, oh no, it's the Russians that have the neo-Nazi. It's the Russians. Right? So screw them all. I care about my country. Right? I'm not paying for any other person's fucking bullshit. The leaders have a problem with each other. Get in the octagon and fight each other, and whoever wins, and that's it. End of story. You shake hands and then it's done. Yeah, I did like his comment. I think it's the first time he's kind of he has acknowledged the fact that he knows his doctor is still out there. Listen, bringing Peter Capaldi back now would be desperation. But I would have loved to see it. Being honest, he should have been part of the 60th anniversary, Peter Capaldi. Actually, Matt Smith, that's what it should have been, because David Tennant was there for Matt Smith's 50th, which was great, right, with the two of them. But I think for the 60th, you should have had Matt Smith, you should have had Peter Capaldi, and, you know, hate to say it, but she was the doctor at the time, but you throw Jodie Whittaker in there. But you could get the two doctors then to throw her off a cliff or something, and she regenerated the shooting. And that would have actually solved the whole, you know, situation there. You wouldn't have to bring David Tennant back at all. And I'm talking about our doctor, by the way. I'm not talking about Jodie Whittaker, because I know how all you Whittaker fans twist it, right? I'm saying throw Jodie's doctor off a cliff, okay? Right, let's see if my stream is still monetized. I guarantee it's not. And if it is, well then, well done, YouTube. It's about fucking time, because, you know, I'm entitled to my opinion. If people don't agree with my opinions, that's fine. They're entitled to disagree with me. they're entitled to leave a comment, because that's what YouTube is supposed to be for. It's a platform that, you know, someone comes on, gives their opinion, people don't agree, if people do agree, they leave a comment. But anyway, if you did like what I've had to say tonight, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's been a while since we did actually politics on here and spoke about things that are annoying me. But I'm not staying silent anymore, because 2023 tried to fear us into silence. I'm not going to be silenced or shamed for having the opinions that I have, right? All they are is opinions and points of view that I have. If people don't agree, that's fine, fair enough. You don't have to agree with me, but they're my beliefs, right? And look, you know what I think is wrong with this world is the fact that people don't do research. But yeah, people continue to say that I'm lying about the neo-Nazi problem in Ukraine. But if you actually go back and look at articles from 2008, even back as 2006, you will hear Hillary Clinton, you'll hear CNN, all of the mainstream media news in the States talk about the neo-Nazi problem in Ukraine. You'll also see the British media and tabloids were reporting on the same thing. But as soon as this conflict happened, they flipped it and said, oh, no, they're not actually from Ukraine, they're Russian neo. You know, they changed it, right? So don't be fooled, right? The information is there on the surface level. You know, if you actually, you know, go and Google it, it's a simple fucking Google. Like, I'm able to get articles back from that time and put them up, and I have been putting them up to show people, well, you're back in the wrong horse here, because this is what everybody was saying about Ukraine before this conflict. Said Ukraine was going to be the danger. Ukraine was the country that we all had to keep an eye on, right? They were even criticized about how they handled LGBTQ people over there as well, right? But all of that was swept under the carpet, right? There is no conflict over there, right? And you know what? Here's the scary thing, right? With all the billions of money that not just Ireland, America, UK have given Ukraine, they're still going to lose. So even with the backing that they've had, they're going to lose. But then I'd say, well, how has he got a mansion? And why have some of these ministers driving around in fancy cars all of a sudden and living in top of the range villas all of a sudden? When they had no money before all of this. Now they all do have money, but nobody questions where the money is coming from. The money is coming from your pocket. The car that he's driving around in, the villa that he's living in now, is paid by the taxpayers in the UK, Ireland, and whatever other European country and the US are giving them. Right? They're not using the money to win the war. They're using the money to line their own pockets also. Well, actually, they're not. What they're doing is they're laundering the money for other people, but they're given obviously money themselves for doing it, for using Ukraine, and then that's how they're able to afford to buy. It's the same tactic that they've used in other countries. Then when they don't like that person, right, and we've seen it with Saddam Hussein, we saw it with Gaddafi, right, when they don't like these people, they end up taking them out. So Zelensky is not even going to last. Zelensky will eventually be branded a dictator, and then they'll go in unjustifiably, and they'll take him out, even though they were the ones that used him in the first place. Just like they used Saddam Hussein, just like they used Gaddafi. Remember, all of these so-called dictators are useful to them because they're the ones that put them in power in the first place. But then when they go against them and they realize they're being used, which Zelensky will realize eventually he is being used, or unless he actually really doesn't give a shit about the Ukrainian people and he'll just keep taking the money and be a yes guy for them. But eventually these guys do actually cop on and then decide that, oh, America is a threat and the West is a threat. And then they lock up shop. And then obviously then governments are not happy then because they can't launder their money anymore. So basically what they do is they take them out then. And then they put in a government in place, like they've done in other countries, that bow down to their will. It's simple, really. I mean, it's a tactic they've been using for thousands of years. Empires have grown and fallen using same tactics. You destabilize, you get people within the country to sell out the country, and it's not very hard nowadays with the billions that's flying around. I mean, you can literally bribe anybody. in politics now. Telling you. Just give them a few million here, there. Here's the brown envelope. I want you to overlook the fact that I'm going to be building this, such and such. They did it in Irish politics for years. It was all obviously you had all the tribunals over here, and we saw how corrupt this country was with its property developers and the bankers and all of this. And what happened? The bondholders and taxpayers were burnt. Right? Money talks. Nicholas said it earlier in the chat. Money talks, right? Money is the great evil in this world, believe it or not. Right? Everybody's driven by it. We all are. Right? We need it to survive as well, obviously, because they've made it essential for us to have money to buy goods. You don't get anything for life. You don't get anything in this life for free. You're born, you go to school to be educated, right? Then, obviously, you get a bit older, you either go to college or, for others, then you get a job, right? You get your first job, you work your way different jobs until you get the job that you actually want and you enjoy being in. That's what you do. Then you work, you pay your taxes, right? And then you go out, you buy your food, you're paying more taxes. Right, that's all we are. We're just a cog for all of these rich motherfuckers. But the new plan is, well, there's too many of us. We want to kind of be able to control you all a little bit more because we can't control you right now. We know we can't. So we're going to come up with ways to depopulate the population. And that's what they've been doing over the last few decades. They've been using different things to do it. This was the biggest thing that they used. Right? And people are still openly lining up and taking that. And you know what? I've no sympathy now because you've had, since the fallout of the first one and, you know, the fallout of the lockdowns and all this and all the information that has come out, if you're still getting that, well then, you know, I have no sympathy for you. But I don't highly rate the fact that you're going to live a long life, to be quite honest with you. Because what happens with most of these people, especially the ones that are more vocal about being vaccinated, you know, they just died in mysterious circles or natural causes apparently at 60. You know, see, this is why all of this narrative that they give us about the deaths and people just dying is bullshit. Because medical advances have made us live longer than we were ever, you know what I mean? Like, there's people living to 90, 100 now and still looking fit. You know, you got 60, 70-year-olds out there that are probably running rings around 20-odd-year-olds nowadays because everybody's a lot fitter. Our medical technology is a lot more advanced. So we're living longer. Right, but now they're trying to tell us, oh no, that's not the case anymore. You just drop. That's it. Right. But I know what it is, and I'm not going to stay silent on it. And Elon Musk's X, as I said, you know, claims to be freedom of speech, but anybody puts up something like that, then community notes will come in. So he's on board with it. No matter what he says about free speech and all of this, he doesn't believe in chemtrails. Even though the chemtrails is real, he can deny it all he wants. They are pumping shit into the atmosphere, right? Even some governments have admitted that they're pumping shit into the atmosphere. It mightn't be the shit that they're saying they're pumping into the atmosphere, but they've admitted that they're pumping shit into the atmosphere. So chemtrails are real. But he denies that, or his platform denies that. So, you know, freedom of speech, me arse, right? Because if it was freedom of speech, wouldn't be getting community notice. Bottom line is nothing should be getting community notice whatsoever, right? The whole point of freedom of speech is to determine. Listen, I can tell you right now, several accounts on X or that I know that spread misinformation, so they get blocked, right? It's very easy for you to spot someone that's a bullshit artist. I mean, it's not that fucking hard. You have to be really stupid. I mean, that's why I think community notes is stupid. I don't need a community note to tell me someone's talking out of their arse. Right? People should be able to determine it for themselves. Right? And he's charging. He's not for freedom of speech. Don't listen to listen. Right? People need to realise one thing. Right? He's CEO is a WEF or former WEF member. Right? This man is a multi-billionaire or trillionaire, whatever he is. Right? He's very rich. He's an elite. Right? He might talk like one of us and act like one of us and pretend to be one of us, but he's an elite. Right? He's an elite. Right? He was talking about AI a few years back and robotics about how we shouldn't mess with that because people will end up paying the price. But yet, in his own Tesla factory, a robot killed one of his own staff. Like, right? He's messing with AI as well, even though he's come out and warned people that AI could be a bad thing, which it will be. Yeah, I mean, look, listen, they make Hollywood movies, shows these things happening. Has nobody ever seen The Terminator, Skynet, Self-Aware? Mess with that shit and we're robots are taking over here. The story, right? It's scary, man. They can get robots to walk like humans now. Yeah, do you remember that dog robot as well? Yeah, Cheryl showed me a robot. I was fucking stunned, I was. If I didn't know, well, it was a robot. I could tell, obviously, I could tell it was a robot, but it was shaped like a kind of a dog. You could tell that it was moving like a fucking dog, realistic movements. I didn't do it yet because it's over there or something. Yeah, you wanted it. Ah, well, it's one string. I was going to do two today, but decided to kind of just do it in one. Well, that's why I was asking you're still streaming out because. Yeah, well, he's at texting me again, so he wants me to do that with him tonight. Oh, you need to. I know, so I'm gonna go around a few minutes. I'm just gonna wrap up now in a minute. Right. Anyway, good night. It was a lovely day today. Was it? It was. Oh, I told him about the tennis part, but I told him after that we went for the bite to eat and all. I'm just but you were tired. Because you know what? What did you say? I said you were tired then, though, weren't you? But I'm telling you, I just thought you said I looked tired. And I was like, oh, I'm about to leap over that table. You sure you'd be able to leap? You ran into that one now. Oh, come on. I was going to make a compliment. I was going to say 4 years ago, there's no way that outing would have ended the way it did. No, I wouldn't. No. That's what I was telling you. We would have been on speaking terms for days. It would have been a full-on fight. Yeah, that's what I told him. There was no arguments. I just walked out. I tried to kick you out earlier, though. You should have listened to me because I saw you bring them up. I'm just going to wait outside. Because the last thing I would have needed. I know, but you know what sent me over the edge? Yes, realizing we were running the wrong queue. That's what did it for me, man. Bastards. Anyway. See you, Teddy. Why is he hopping on his leg? Oh, because he needs both those back nails cut again, because now he's got some balance, but you seem to always have an issue, so I've been waiting because he just had a bath to cut them. Oh! Because you said I'm not allowed to do it on the same day as a bath. Well, no, because you go crazy. Oh, he's alright, okay. Oh, he thinks there's more, Yeah, he's also fallen over a couple times in the lift when he shakes. He's losing balance on that back leg. It's concerning me a bit. No, he's done that a couple of times, but I think that was because remember when I was sick and you were in your and he jumped down off the sofa nasty and I let out a big scream. You were like, "What the fuck's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, he's just at the falling off that sofa." Yeah, he's fallen over a couple times. I know because he's an idiot. But he's not watching. Yeah, but he's not watching where he's going though. Because he thinks he is an invincible puppy. Yeah, he still thinks he's a puppy. Terrier. He does not know. He still thinks he's a puppy. Mommy treats me like a puppy. I know she does. Come on. Good night, buddy. He hasn't had an actual meal today, has he? Did you give him the rest of the chicken? No, but I'm in it now. Well, give it. He's got his dry food, but he's got his wet food. Because we were gone. Sorry, everyone. Quick dog update. No, people were asking how he was anyway. I was telling him he's doing grand. He's ridiculous. Did you tell him how he came out last night? And whined and cried? Oh, yeah, because, right, so yesterday, we got these, Cheryl got breasts of chicken, skinless breasts of chicken. and they were very, very big. So I only needed to use one for my chicken burger that I was making. She was having something else. Um, so I boil up. That's what I do for him. I boiled them up to two chicken breasts. But what I did is I cut them up then into little thin pieces. Not like when you go into Tesco, you can buy the ready-made chicken that's already cooked and they put it in the packet. Well, I did the same thing, right? Except I made it from obviously fresh chicken. So I boiled it all up, sliced it up, put it in the bowl, let it all cool down, put it in the fridge. But because he saw me take the chicken out of the fridge at the start when I was doing it, he starts sitting there. So what are you sitting there for? You're not getting that. What? Get out, get out. So he went, right? But she brings him in then after he went downstairs to do his business. And he comes in, he's looking for a treat. And he comes over to the fridge and he sits at the fridge because he knows I'm after putting the chicken that's after cooling down into the fridge. We wrapped it in tin foil and all. He started crying until we opened the fridge to give him a couple of pieces of chicken out of the fridge. He's a baby, but she has him spoiled. That's why he carries on like that, because she fucking has him spoiled. Right. In fairness, I did spoil him when I was on my own. I'm not gonna lie. Right. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's all her fault. It obviously isn't. But I mean, I thought I was over the top, but nothing like what Cheryl is. So, but that's the way it is. Anyway, tomorrow is Friday, so I'll do another stream tomorrow. It is Friday tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So I'll probably be a little, probably maybe the same time, maybe the same length. We'll see. But if not, definitely we'll let stream for. Oh, she's just gone out the front door. We'll definitely stream for an hour or so. We'll do something. Then obviously then the weekend is upon us, and then yeah, we should be pretty much back to normal by next week. Anyway, so hopefully, we got Cam's crash courses in the chat as well. It's nice to see so many is in the chat as well. I know a few of you fell off for a while because I kept talking. You probably went for your tea, but I see most of you are back now. So I just want to thank everybody that has tuned in this evening. But the bottom line is look, folks, you know, just got to be out straight, which is all. You know, it's comes a point where, you know, don't be afraid to have your opinions and say them, because that's what they have tried to do over the last couple of years, is fear you or shame you into having certain opinions. Don't be afraid. Like, you know, I give zero fucks anymore, man, to be quite honest with you. I don't care. I'm not racist. You know, it's not that I don't give a fucking shit what's happening in Gaza. The bottom line is there's shit happening in Ireland. You know, you know, we got our own people fucking out in the streets. We brought in migrants. They're out in the fucking streets in tents as well. Our Irish government have fucked up this country. So we've got our own issues here, right? And that's what I care about right now, right? Simple as that. I'm not going to shy away from that anymore. That's it. End of story. Sick of Leo going on to national television and lying to the people, right? And he is lying to the people, because it's very easy then for anything that he says to go and do a simple Google check on a government website. See, this is the thing that trips up Leo every time. Every time he comes out to try and dismiss a narrative that he called a far right narrative, turns out to be true. So now, instead of using the phrase far right narrative, he's saying it's a mainstream narrative that needs to be broken, and we must start communicating and all of this other rubbish to get the information out there. But how can you trust the leader of a country when he's actually putting out misinformation? And a simple Google check will show that he's actually lying through his teeth on camera in front of the Irish people. He cannot be trusted, right? He's a Marxist, right? The bottom line is I recently discovered that he was one of the WEF's young leaders or something, because they recruit all these future leaders. This is what they do. They indoctrinate them all, and then they follow then because they've been brainwashed, they think what they're doing is obviously right, but at the same time, they know that they're all going to be financially looked after, because you always notice all of these politicians and leaders from countries, you end up in one house and then a few years later, then they have loads of money in their bank accounts. I mean, the country that's worse for it is the US, right? You look at the senators and the governors that are over there, and you see the gaps that they lived in before they were elected. And then after they're elected in a few years of being in the post, then they're living in £25 million mansions and all of this shit. And nobody ever questions where the money comes from. But this is the thing, you need to start questioning all of that shit. And this money is not just falling out of the sky into their laps. Like, they're getting this money from somewhere. Right? And then the other question you should be asking is, right, well, if this money is not falling into their laps, and it's given to them by someone, then why is the person giving them this money? What do they get in return? And these are the questions that people don't ask around the world, the governments. Where's all this money coming from? So yeah, I should be the leader of the Republic of Ireland. I'll have this country sorted out in 2 weeks. That's all it'll take me, 2 weeks. 2 weeks is all I need. And I don't mean I'd have houses for people straight away. No, but in 2 weeks I'd have solutions, right? Sit down with all the experts. I'd sit down with all the people that I needed to sit down with. Say, right, how do we move this country forward? How do we get young people to stay in this country? How do we get a system in place that allows people from different countries to come over here, but want to come over here to work and add to it? I would change everything, right? I would literally change everything. The borders would be closed straight away. That's the first thing I would do, right? There'd be no more migrants coming into this country, right? As soon as I was in power, it'd be done, right? And then all the ones that are here then would be vetted. Every single one of them that are here, right? That came here through not the normal routes, okay? Because there are legitimate migrants that have come over here, and this is the thing, and this is what the imaginary right, as the left would like to call us, have been trying to actually convey to migrants out there. Listen, to any migrant that lives in Ireland that has worked in this country and has made this country their home and cherishes this country just as much as we do, you're welcome. Of course you're welcome, and you will always be welcome here, right? You people add positively to our society, right? What we do not want are people here that come here just for the benefits, or come here just to cause chaos, and people that have came here from other countries that have been prosecuted and have absconded from those countries and made Ireland their home. They're the people we want out of this country. So if you work here, if you're a nurse, doctor, engineer, because the radical left in this country would like you to think that we want to get rid of all of you guys. Listen, we need nurses, engineers, and doctors. The problem that I do have is that we let a lot of our youth actually leave this country that are qualified, they're well trained, but they can't get a job here and they can't get a house here because it's not affordable for them. We've got to change that. Then we wouldn't need as many migrants working in these industries. But that's the current situation that we're in. And until we fix the fact that we keep our youth here, that's never going to change. So migrants, yes, ones that are willing to work and add to this economy, absolutely are welcome. The ones that are not welcome are the ones that freeload off this, off our government. Okay, and I love the class thing has come thing in Ireland now, because most of the radical left, right, they're all poshy little fucking D4 heads and come from that side of Dublin. You know, their families have a fair few quid, right? And then they come out and say, oh, well, you're talking about all these people freeloading off the Irish. But what about the Irish people that are on social welfare? Well, what do you want them to do? Some people can't work, right? Some people actually can't work and have to be on social welfare to sustain their lives. That's just the way it is, right? Some people might be on social welfare because they've lost their job, need payments, right? And there are some people out there that are ill or have disabilities and can't work and are on social welfare, right? Yeah, you see, the attitude with these people, especially left in Ireland, is that they expect everybody to be able to get up off their arse, but unfortunately, there's not, and that's just the way it is. Not everybody can get out there and work. That's just the way it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, those people we should be looking after. We should be looking after our old age pensioners. We should be looking after our youth. They're the things that are important in this country. Yeah, well, no, for president, well, I mean, some of the people I support want Conor McGregor in. I just can't fathom that. I don't like Conor McGregor. I'm glad that he has highlighted the issue and it's become international and stuff like that. But listen, I'm not fit enough to be president. He's not fit enough to be president. And what I mean by that is the president represents the people of Ireland on an international stage. And I would not look presidential, right, on a world stage. Okay, it just wouldn't look great me being president, and I wouldn't look great with Conor being president either. You need someone that has been in politics to be president of Ireland, because you're going to be meeting ambassadors and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'd do it if I thought for 1 second that I could actually, if I could get enough people to sign off on me running, I would run for president. Absolutely. And I've given me best go. I would represent the Irish people the best that I could. But that's all I could promise, right? Because I'm not a politician. So I tell people out straight, listen, do I think I'll do a great job as president? All I will say to the Irish people is I'll do my best by you guys and represent this country the best way that I can. And that's all I could promise. That's all I could promise as a president, because the president really in this country doesn't have powers like other presidents. You know, our president is more of a figurehead. Yes, they do, you know, certain bills will come to the president's desk and all of that other stuff. But on the whole, president is just really a figurehead and goes on trips all over the world and stuff like, and gets to go to rugby matches and football matches and stuff. And as a sports fan, I would love that. Like, I'd love to be, like, I've been at the Aviva Stadium, you know, Crow Park, but to be there as the president of a country, that would, oh, man, don't even go there. That would fill me head with, yeah, that's not even a possibility, man. If it was, I would, because we have to get the, listen, I firmly believe this. I think it is time ordinary people get out there and try to get elected. I don't think you can trust any of these mainstream parties to be even to be president or put a candidate forward. I mean, just to finish on this, right? We're talking about potential candidates for president in Ireland. Well, let me tell you the names that have been mentioned. Leave me out of it, right? So the names that have been mentioned. So we have that businessman that ran for president who was very controversial because some people believed he was racist. I don't. I just believe he was just being a fucking idiot because he didn't really actually have anything, you know, proper to say. So I don't forget his name, but he's apparently rerunning. Then Bertie Ahern, right? Bertie Ahern, who basically ruined this country because of these government policies. You know, I mean, Fianna Gael took the can and then they actually made it worse. But remember, it was Fianna Fáil who put us in the position that they did. And then there was all that stuff about bank accounts and stuff with him in a house and all of that. And I don't know if he was corrupt or not, right? Because I don't think it was ever proven either way or the other. But Charles J. Haughey was his Taoiseach. and he was finance minister for Charles J. Haughey. And don't get me wrong, even though Charles J. Haughey was a bit of a scummer for taking money and stuff like that, I liked him. I thought do you know what? If he hadn't have been corrupt, right, and he didn't have any of that over him, he would have been probably considered one of our great leaders, because he was a no-nonsense fucking Taoiseach, right? The one thing I liked about him was when we saw him in an interview, or we saw him talking to world leaders, he was concise, he knew what he was fucking saying, and he was a very intelligent fucking man. He just happened to have a flaw where he liked to take a few brown envelopes here and there, right? Now, his family did pay back the money and all of that, but yeah, I would consider him, if he hadn't got the corruption behind him, for me, he's and still to this day, man, I consider him the best Taoiseach I ever had growing up. He was my Taoiseach. He was the best Taoiseach. Even though the corruption, as I said, when it came to leading Ireland on the world stage and doing stuff for the people, listen, he did a lot for the old age pensioners, right? He did a lot of deals with TDs, you know. Tony Gregory was the famous one, you know, getting the North Inner City done, you know. But Charles J. Haughey was the Taoiseach that gave, you know, didn't put up with Margaret Thatcher's nonsense, and he actually put the British government in their place at one time when a British Navy ship, or it was a submarine, sunk an Irish trawler, and the British government or something wouldn't apologise or something. So basically, Charles J. Haughey calls in the British ambassador, and the British ambassador is actually treating Charles J. Haughey as if he's a second-class citizen in his own country. He's like, why are you summoning me here? And he goes, right, well, I've got a message for you and your Prime Minister. Your Prime Minister wants us to back the quote on such and such. Well, she doesn't apologise for the fishing trawler. You're not getting Ireland support, so you can go back and tell her. And then within 24 hours, Margaret Thatcher was on telly to apologise for the incident. And then, of course, we did. But that was Charles J. Haughey, man. He took no shit. We don't have leaders like that anymore. Unfortunately, though, all these men were flawed. That's the problem. You know, Charles J. Haughey's legacy would have been, when he left, if the corruption, see, there was always stuff in the 80s and 90s. We knew it was going to come out anyway. But there was always suspicions around them anyway. But people were hoping it wasn't true, because if it wasn't true, in fairness, I think he would have been considered, as I said, one of our great leaders. But unfortunately, history will judge him differently. But there are a few things that he did while he was Taoiseach that I just thought, you know, no other Irish Taoiseach, would have done the same. So we don't have leaders like that anymore. But corruption, I've known corruption all my life, and this government is no different. The difference is with this government than other governments that were just corrupt. This government is openly hostile towards its own people. Charles J. Haughey was never openly hostile towards the Irish people or any other government before his, right? But this government is. And this is why I take a hard stance on certain issues, and I'm not backing down, because this is what the Irish government want to do. They want to fear me into silence. And you know what? It just reminds me of the time when they tried to fear us into getting the jab. Now, I know, listen, right? I'll put hopefully if the camera works. Just want to say this so you can see my face. Listen, I was as scared as everybody, right? I honestly thought when all of this happened, I would be dead, like everybody. I was scared. But the turning point for me was, right, because I was still considering, because remember I was talking to you on stream about, because I was telling you, because everybody was asking me if I got the jab, and I was like, no, I haven't haven't got it yet. Now Cheryl decided to get it. This is why I'm kind of the way I am, a bit angry, like, because, you know, if that happens, her, man. But we won't get into that. But I was terrified. But the turning point for me and what made me say, do you know what, fuck no, I'm not getting that, was when they literally start taking their rights away. When they start taking their rights away and they start shaming people and forcing people to take if they wanted to go on holidays and all this, that's when I said, I'm not taking it. Because I knew then. Well, I knew before, but you just need that confirmation, don't you? That was my confirmation right there. And I said to her then that day, I said, I'm not, look, I don't know if you'll hate me for it or not, but I says, I'm just telling you out straight. I am not sticking a needle in my arm. I'm not getting it. Now, she could have very easily, because we've heard people being divorced during all of this because one partner would get the jab, the other one. I just told her, and that was it. You know, she probably doesn't get it, why I didn't get it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, she respects my decision. I understand why she even got it, because I even say to audience, I know, fair won the day. I get it. They actually did a good number. The governments around the world and the media did a good number on everybody this time. You know, if they get an A+ in that, and they get an A+ in this because it worked, right? It just didn't work on some of us. So, but it worked on the majority, unfortunately. But, you know, there's no point of saying, ha ha ha, told you so, blah, 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 with all the stuff that's happening, because the bottom line is now we must all come together now, vaxxed and unvaxxed, and say, here, we want answers, right? Because it's not climate change, it's not all this other nonsense that people are just, right? So we want answers. But you see, the thing about it is you'll never get answers, because as soon as you start getting answers, then heads start to roll, and the people that are really responsible will not allow their heads to roll. So we'll only ever get the little guys, the middlemen. We'll never actually get the people that are responsible for all of this. You didn't get it because it doesn't. Well, it didn't. Well, the evidence shows it didn't it? So, I mean, I probably made the right choice in the end, didn't I? So, I mean, but I have to be honest, I was as scared as everybody else. I mean, as I said to everybody, you go and listen to Leo Varadkar's press conference when he's announcing this, that COVID is coming to Ireland, right? I remember seeing tweets on X, people saying, Jesus Christ, the Irish Prime Minister scared the shit out of these people. What? Listen to his speech, man. Listen to his speech. His speech was worse than any other world leader out there. He literally scared the Irish people to death. He even scared me. I don't get scared of people just talking words on TV. He had everybody in absolute fear after that speech. His speech is the most, I'm telling you now, whoever wrote that speech for him is the greatest speechwriter of all time when it comes to writing speeches on how to manipulate emotions, because that's what that speech did very well. It manipulated everybody's emotions, and the biggest emotion was fear. Telling you, man. You watch his speech. Go back and watch it. It's on YouTube. I'm telling you now, man. I even remember after it finished, I just froze for a couple of minutes, and she got, "Are you all right?" And I just looked at her and Ted, and then I looked out the window, and I just looked at her and said, "We're literally fucked." That was it. Nah, man. Nah, Leo's is worse than hers. Leo's is worse than hers. I'm telling you now. I watched hers. Hers was a piece of piss compared to his. He had everybody. I'm telling you now. You ask any Irish person after that speech, man, after that press conference, the whole country just went, right, that's it. He called it for lock. It just happened. Bang, done. Right? Everything just changed overnight. He literally put the fear of God into everybody, and it worked. So I was scared, but I was always, and I always said this, the one thing that always stopped me from getting the job anyway was the fact that it just came about, so they said, which I never trust anyway. And anybody that knows anything about vaccines, you know it has to go through a certain amount of years of tests before it's considered safe. But with this one, they didn't do all the tests. You guys are all the guinea pigs out there. And as I said, you know, what is it now? It's been 3, 4 years since. So 4 years from now, you will all find out now how bad this actually was, right? Because as I said, you know, people, even the short-term effects, right? Listen, there's a video on X, right? So I don't know if it's being manipulated in any way, but it looks legit to me. So there's people in America, and this only happened recently, by the way, because they obviously have these jab centers everywhere, right? So it's people queuing up for the jab, and I shit you not, right? This actually happened, right? Someone has gotten jabbed, right, and is brought out in a stretcher, and his legs are shaking, and people are standing there and they're like, ah, well. So people are willingly allowing themselves to become guinea pigs, right? We saw the short-term effects. People were getting strokes, people blood clots, people not able to walk, people's faces, all of this, right? You haven't even gotten to the long-term effects yet. This is why they do the studies for the 8 to 10 years or whatever it is with any vaccine, right? So in 4 years' time, they may have an effective COVID-19 vaccine, but even if they do, I will never take it. I will never take another jab off a medical professional ever again. I do not trust them. I do not trust them, and I will never trust them. It's as simple as that, right? Now, I know there are doctors and nurses out there that have spoken up through all of this and have lost their jobs and stuff like that. They're the ones that we should be praising. They're the ones we should be backing. They're the ones we should be supporting, because they didn't give a fuck that they lost their livelihood. They value their doctors and nurses who took that oath seriously, who value human life, and they were not going to be bribed into giving people this thing. So they lost their careers because of it. They're the medical professionals you should be listening to. I saw the other day some guy with a PhD only recently got it, slagging a doctor off because she was basically stripped of her profession because she refused to give people the vaccine. Right? And it turns out that the stuff that she spoke about the vaccine and the side effects have actually come true, but it doesn't matter that the facts are coming out and showing that she was right. She's lost her career. She'll never get her job back. She'll never get her career back as a doctor. She's been struck off. It's done. Finished. Even though the evidence is backing her up now. All of these people should be reinstated and given their jobs back. And the ones that pushed this should be the ones that be getting sacked and put into prison. But we lived in such a fucked up society that the people that are actually on the right side of history are vilified and absolutely destroyed, dragged through the media, dragged through the courts, all of this. Because this is what they do as well. They drag you through the courts as well. They destroy your reputation completely. They have to destroy your reputation first, right? Then it's easier then for them to put out the disinformation about you. Say, oh no, they're anti-vaxxer, blah, 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 they're this, that, and the other, and people will just buy it. Right? Ah, well, look, if it happen, no, I don't think there will be one because at the end of the day, right? The bottom line is the people that got vaccinated played Russian roulette, right? So they can't afford to be getting themselves stressed out because we've seen it as well. Stress brings on the stuff and they're gone, right? You have to be very careful. Here's the thing, right? It's not going to kill everybody. That wasn't the plan anyway, but they wanted as many people to take it so the plan would be effective. But the thing about it is the weaker people in society, like the vulnerable old age pensioners and stuff like that, the ones that are dispensable to these fuckers. Like they'll be the ones. Look at Italy, Jordan, the whole thing. Italy was hit the worst, right? Italy has an Asian population in Europe now. Obviously, in China, it's the same. They've got an Asian population in China, but in Italy was the worst affected during COVID-19 because they had an Asian population, I should say, and COVID was very strong on the old age pensioners. And remember, British governments and Irish governments were putting patients into nursing homes, right? So there's lots of things that people should be outraged about, but because you're labelled an anti-vaxxer, people won't listen to you. Your point of view is not of value. But yeah, what they should be doing is they should be listening to everything that I'm saying, because at the end of the day, listen, as I said, I'm not going to say I told you so because it's too late for that. But you were duped, you were lied to, and the bottom line is nobody ever needed to take this. Nobody, right? And the reason why that there are deaths happening now, it's not got to do with COVID at all, right? And they did, they will try to COVID on the recent deaths, because they want to say, oh, there's a spike in COVID-19 cases. Well, it's not COVID, right? It's not COVID. We all know what it is. People need to wake up, right? Okay? I will never take another vaccine as long as I live, right? The medical professionals, in my opinion, have let themselves down, right? And listen, I'm not naive. I'm not naive. The pharmaceutical companies obviously are there to make money. There are doctors and nurses that do want to save lives. But you really showed how cold this world is. As I said, when your loved ones were dying, some of you did lose loved ones during the pandemic. Remember, in the hospital that your loved one died in, there was probably nurses and doctors doing TikTok videos, But that was acceptable back then, because apparently, they were stressed. What about the families and the victims of those families? Was there any care was there any, mindfulness to think that what you were doing was in bad taste, especially when people were losing family members? But again, I lost all respect for the medical professionals during that whole pandemic. While people were praising the nurses and doctors for their videos and going out and clapping for them and all, I was like, are you all on drugs or something? Are you all hallucinating? Like, leave it out. I even complained at the time, got stick for it, calling these nurses and doctors out. How fucking dare you? Right? We're just living in a fucked up society. It's a fucked up world, man. Everybody's backwards with their thinking. Right? People should have been outraged about that. Oh no. No, but you know what? They're so thick, PD, that they're already setting up the sequel, because there is going to be another pandemic. Yeah, Bill Gates and all's even talking about it. When these fuckers start talking about it, that's why I keep telling people, you need to be paying attention, right? There's another pandemic. Listen, if you think the monkeypox thing or the 100-day cough, as they're calling it, is the new pandemic, right? That's not the new pandemic. They're putting all of these things out now, right? And come here, you wonder how they're putting them, how we're all getting it. Well, we spoke about chemtrails earlier on, right? It's very easy to disperse viruses into the atmosphere, right? I mean, the fact that people are naive to think that governments or scientists are not putting down shit to our sky when it's clear that they are, and they're pumping shit into the sky. I mean, come on, you have to stop living on cloud fucking nine, right? There's another pandemic on the way. It mightn't happen in 2024, but something major is going to happen in 2024, right? Something is going to snap in 2024. We either win this fight in 2024 and each European country falls like dominoes against all of this crap that's happening and we win the day. Or they come back, which I do believe they are going to try do. They're going to come back and double, triple, quadruple down on their tactics. And this is what I'm saying. Something major is going to happen in the next few years. So be under no illusion. They're already planning the next event. Right? And they distract us with Epstein and they distract us with all of the entertainment and all of this other shit. Stop getting distracted by all of that shit. Start getting and start fucking looking in the place that they don't want you to look. Right? That's what I'm still alive. I'm supposed to be gone an hour and a half ago. I said goodbye an hour and a half ago. But I've been enjoying this stream so much that I've just decided to keep going. So, but I'm going to be finishing up now shortly. But yeah, I am still live. But they're running. Yeah, you're right, Dan. They're running out of ways now. That's the thing. That's why I believe they will do something despicable, even more despicable. In fairness, right? Though I will say this. No matter what's going on around you and all this, right? And you decide you're one of those people that needs to get out there and start being vocal. I'd say fair play to you. We need more people like that in all European countries, in Canada, in America, to get out there and start being vocal. The world, the WEF, the UN, all of these organizations, right, have to see people out on the streets. It's the only way that we win this, right? Now, I've always said Irish history especially, when we've done things like this, there's always been, the Irish way has always been violence. But this time we can't resort to violence. And this is the thing. They will resort to violence. We've already seen that. But we can't resort to violence because we've got to be better than them on every level. And we are better than them on every level. So we have to act it. We want to live in a civilized, moral society. You know what I mean? They want chaos and they want an immoral society. So you're not just fighting. Listen, people think that this is just a fight against migration and all of this. I want to make this very clear to you all that everything is connected, right? They're causing chaos, whether it's migration, climate change, whether it's LGBTQ plus politics, whatever it is, right? Black Lives Matter in America, all of that, right? All of these things are designed to cause social chaos. Everything, social chaos. You see it with the climate change activists. They cause chaos everywhere they go. They block traffic. You're right. You've seen it, right? You've seen Greta Thunberg being fake arrested several times because, Oh, by the way, I learned something new about her today. Her grandparents actually profited during World War II. So I'll just leave that little bit of information with you. So Greta Thunberg apparently is in line to receive $10 million when her grandparents, I think I shared with her sister as well, though. $10 million when her grandmother passes away, if her grandmother's still alive, but she has an inheritance or she receives a certain time. But there's $10 million. And our grandparents profited during World War II, and that's how they were able to make their money by selling apparently stolen art. Now, as you know, during World War II, a lot of art was stolen and sold on the black market. They do reckon that there's still famous artworks out there. We just don't know where they are. They're either buried in tunnels or they're somewhere, right? But there's art that has never been found that was taken by obviously those bad Germans back in the day. And again, I will say, back in the day, the bad Germans used young girls as tactics, in a lot of their propaganda. And then history's repeating itself, when we had the Iraqi war, Desert Storm, and all, when you had your woman, the little girl going, and they took babies out of incubators and they murdered them. No such thing actually happened, and she was the ambassador's daughter, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, on that lie, they went and invaded Iraq and all of that, right? So they used girls to do their dirty work before. And Greta is just another line of elitist little scumbag stats. Family history is not quite great, and probably leads back to the fact that, made money off the fact, stolen art. But who did that stolen art belong to? Well, probably Jewish families, but I, can't really say that. But I'll say it anyway. You know what I mean? So when you got people like that now going around, and by the way, her annual, listen to this, right? So apparently she goes around on a boat. She doesn't fly and all this thing. But yeah, Greta makes 2 million a year. 2 million annually she makes through this climate change malarkey. 2 million a year, and as I said, she's in line to inherit 10 million from her grandparents. Right? See, the bottom line is all of these things is just a money making scam for Greta and her family. Right? The other daughter apparently is a pop star. So while one daughter is out complaining how bad climate change is, the other daughter is going around doing concerts all over the world. But yeah, how is our gear being transported? Oh yeah, that's right, trucks and ferries and aeroplanes. So they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites. So and Greta is old enough now that they can't use. Oh, she's a 60, she's 50, 60. You talk to. But she's a grown ass adult now. She's 18 or something now. So you see, she's technically an adult now. So she's gonna get the pushback now. So I say to Greta, how dare you? How dare you? Right? You know what you should do with that money? If you care about climate change so much, Greta, that money that you inherit, you should actually donate. Especially if your grandparents made that money through the suffering of other people, then I honestly believe that you should give that money to charity. And as for the money that you make on this climate change scam, man-made climate scam, I think you should give that 2 million towards environmental projects, where any money that you make each year should be given to environmental charities that look after our environment, clean up our oceans, make sure that our sea life is protected, from fishing trawler nets and all of this other plastics that are dumped into the ocean and stuff like that. So that's what you should do with your money, because the environment is more important than the climate, in my opinion. The climate is going to change no matter what we do, right? That's just what happens. The climate has changed in the past and it will change again. It's as simple as that. So what we should be doing is we should be cleaning up our cities, our towns. Like the pandemic, the one good thing came from the pandemic. Rivers, oceans, they all cleared up and cleaned up, and the planet healed itself for 2 years, right? That was the good thing. But environmentally, the planet was in a better state because human activity wasn't as high, and obviously people weren't leaving their rubbish everywhere. But as soon as everybody went back out into the open, instead of thinking about the environment and the beaches and stuff like that, people started just throwing rubbish everywhere, right? these are the very same people, climate change idiots, that will go to concerts. Do you remember they had that famous picture in Hyde Park, wasn't it? There was a big concert and all the rubbish and the tents that they left behind. And these are the very same gobshites that will be out in the streets telling you that, oh, you must reduce your oil consumption because if you don't, you're harming the climate, but you're harming the environment. So it's okay for you to harm the environment. That's what we should be taking. The environment was always number one, right? We should be planting more trees instead of chopping them down, or building sustainable forests, right? Like we always spoke about, cleaning up our oceans, getting rid of the plastics and all that, like we said, cleaning out our canals, right? In major cities, cleaning out the canals, tidying them up, right? Getting rid of all the pollution, all the shit that's thrown in canals, right? And make sure our rivers are protected and preserved. That's what we should be doing. That's what's important. Not an imaginary fucking scam, right? It doesn't matter what you say. The climate is changing away, and it is changing right now, right? Solar activity is unusual. It's not run, but again, see, this is where you fuck up, right? I know because I actually learned science back in the day from proper fucking scientists. I know what drives the climate in this fucking on this planet, right? And it's nothing got to do with what Greta and all her fucking cohorts are saying, right? Okay, solar activity, right? The polar shift, the fucking axis shifted already as well, right? Everything is happening. What happened the last time when the last shift happened, and it's happening right now, and there happens to be more humans on the planet than there was the last time it happened. So get over your fucking selves, right? And we'll adapt and we'll survive like the human race adapted and survived the last time. We will adapt and we will survive. End the fucking story. Antarctica wasn't always full of fucking ice, right? It was a tropical fucking paradise. But a climate shift happened, okay? And that's why we have ice up there. Simple as that. And this is what's happening right now. There's another climate shift happening right now. And it's nothing to do with man-made. It's nothing got to do with us, Greta. Shut the fuck up. You as well, Leonardo DiCaprio, and all you other gobshites out there that they keep pushing this narrative, right? If the sea levels are really dangerously high, or going to be high, as you claim, why is all buying beachside fucking villas? Fuck off, which is our fucking crap, which is a hoax. It's a hoax, right? Man-made climate change is a hoax, right? Climate change is real, but the man-made version of it is a hoax, right? We're not driving it. It's just another way for them to screw us over, to tax us more money, because at the end of the day, all of this shit is about money. Money, 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 money. They're greedy bastards, right? They're making enough money through us from the slavery, from the taxes and all of this, the money that our parents have to spend to bring us to school. But all that money is not enough anymore now. The greedy bastards want more and more and more, and they'll squeeze every single penny out of you that they can. Do you remember I joked about talking about an air tax that they charge us for air that we breathe? I did a stream actually recently on this channel, if you remember, and I brought up an article that was actually talking about that. Right? I was joking about that, but deep down I kind of knew they'd probably try to do something like that. But I'll tell you, that's where we're heading. And that they could try taxes on. Right? Money, 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 a great song. Yeah, it is. But money is the root of all evil. I was told that by my grandmother. Never fully understood it until actually right now. Money is the root of all evil. But the problem is we need it to survive, so it's a catch 22 situation. But anyway, I hope that was enlightening for you all. But I think I am going to actually stop now. But absolute power corrupts, absolutely. But you see, that's the thing. I do agree, by the way, that it does corrupt. I mean, even JFK said the same thing back in the 60s, or the 50s, I should say. Um, but I do believe that there are some people out there that do have what it takes to become a great leader and, not let the power corrupt them. But unfortunately, if you do happen to find a leader like that, more than likely they're going to be, taken care of because they don't want leaders. Once you get one leader like that, that inspires, right? That inspires that much, that actually does have the best interest of the country, the people, and all that at hand. Trust me, before long, that leader will become a target. They don't want you to have a comfortable life. When you start to get comfortable in your life, something happens, and then all of a sudden you're struggling, right? I've been struggling all my life. My parents were struggling when we were born. I'm actually even surprised. Even back then, there was loads of families with 5 or 6 kids. How they did it back in the 70s and 80s is beyond me, right? And I always grateful for my parents because Christmas, I was never let down Christmas and all that. They struggled, but they worked, and they got us what they could, and what we asked for. We didn't get everything all the time, but we got most of what we wanted. We didn't get it that year. We got for our birthday. We still got it. But I saw that. So even growing up as a kid, there was times where we couldn't even afford to go out and buy me like new clothes or anything like that. So I'd have the same clothes. Not obviously wearing the same clothes, but you know what I mean, wearing old clothes, but never getting any updated clothes because we just couldn't afford because there was just too many of us basically. But I went through a period obviously when I was working and the country was it was a fake kind of boom. But that period, yeah, did have a bit of money, but my dad always told me, and I never listened to him, but I should have listened to him, you need to be putting this money away because this isn't going to be sticking around forever. And naive Noel thought, sure, the country is great, everything's great, nothing's going to happen, and then I saw the early signs then myself, and I was like, oh, fuck, it's too late. I should have spent all my money now. It's gone. And then the country just crashed. And that was it. But, we were starting to get comfortable a couple of years ago. And then obviously everybody was, and then the pandemic hit. So again, when we start to feel comfortable, guys, and we start to get a little bit extra money in our pocket, right, that something happens and they take it all away from us. They don't want us to get comfortable. They don't want us to have the lives that they have, right? Because then everybody would want that life. Well, not everybody would, to be honest, but I think everybody would love to be financially comfortable and to be able to go on a holiday here and there, you know what I mean, and not have to worry about bills. But they want you worrying and stressing and all of that. They want to keep you down. They don't want you to make money because as soon as you make money, there's more rich people, isn't there? They don't want more rich people. It's a unique little club, you know. That's why you see people like the Kardashians or Conor McGregor. Their class is new money. They'll never be fully embraced by the ones that have spent years scamming people and squashing people to get where they got, to make the billions that they've made. Do you know what I mean? So when you get someone like, Conor McGregor or the Kardashians that have money, they're looked down upon because they're not one of them. They're not an elite sort of thing. You know what I mean? They have grown up with money, They've kind of got through other means, whereas their families have always been rich because maybe what their great grandfather did and shit like that. And it's a fan, that sort of way. It's an elite club. So they want us, yeah. The old money looks down on new money. Exactly. I mean, there's that famous story even on the Titanic. Do you remember Molly Brown, she was new money. Her and her husband, he struck gold, didn't he? And they became rich. But everybody looked down on her because she was new money, because the old guard, they had made their money through the way they would look at it, through the normal avenues, right? Whereas they got lucky and made their money. But there was even that classist kind of attitude, and it's back again. You know, the class. It's always been prevalent in the UK, because UK does have a class system, but in Ireland it wasn't really that prevalent. I mean, it was kind of there, you know, but it wasn't really a big issue. But it's become an issue now in Ireland, because the elitists, or whatever you want to call them, or the ones that are well off, you know, they look down on the working class, and the working class. See, notice something about this migration thing as well. If someone in D4 complains about a migrant centre opening up in D4, it's like, oh, the residents of such and such a place in D4 are concerned about the migration centre being opening up in their area. But if it's somewhere like Tallaght or Ballyfermot or anywhere in the north inner city, right, in a working class area, right, the far right have issues with a migration centre, they're racist, bigots, blah, blah, blah. See, even when they report, right, with people in a different area, but because they have a bit of money, right, they have the same issues as we do. But yeah, they report it differently in the media. You know, it's always concerned residents, as I said. But when it's someone in an area like even the area I live in, or the north inner city, or any area like that, oh, it's because it's a working class area. Oh, the racist, the far right, you know. So we see it happening here. It's ridiculous, it is. But 2024 is the year where, you know, as I said, they lost in 2023 when they focused on the looting instead of 3 kids and a creche worker being attacked and stabbed. Like, so, you know, they lost then, but they'll come to the realization this year now, because, you know, the rest of the country starting to wake up now. As I said, there are multiple protests now in different towns happening right now as we speak, you know, because residents have had enough of all the lawyers and stuff like that. The only problem that we do have now is Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin seems to be the biggest issue here, because a party that was supposedly for the Irish seemed to be infiltrating a lot of these protests and convincing some of the people in these communities to go home and to not believe the far right narrative, as they call it. But of course, what happened in other places was they were promised, and then it turned out that they lied. So, you know, now 2024 is the year we win it here. I told you the Irish don't fuck around. We won in 2023. As I said, when the left focused on the kids, focused on the looting rather than the kids, they'd lost the argument. They've lost the narrative. This is why the Taoiseach is coming out all the time now doing little press conferences. He knows he's lost the narrative. They've lost the narrative. Once you lose the narrative in Ireland, it's game over. So when I say 2024, we've won this, we will win in 2024. It's not going to take 2 years, 2025. We'll win it in 2024. It's done. The left in this country are done. As I told you, I told people, and people need to take note. You know, I see a lot of other media outlets from UK and from the America saying that the Irish are basically just taking it, right? But they're not actually telling you the truth, right? Because we've won this. We've won this already. It's won already, right? We're just 2024 is where, listen, the narrative is gone. They've lost the narrative in the country. The country is rising up now, right? I said it. I said it on here several times. Once the narrative, the leftist narrative was broken in Ireland, it was game over for the left. And it is game over for the left. They don't realise it yet. They still think they're winning this, right? Okay, but Leo knows he's losing. because this is why he's coming out with the shite that he's coming out with lately, right? He knows he's losing, right? But the other side, but everybody's convinced on the left that they're on the right side of history and they're winning this. They haven't. They've lost. They lost on that date. They lost on the 23rd of November, 2023. Right? 2024, right? There's a general election in Ireland. It'll probably be the end of the year. But 2024, I told you, we get the job done in this country. It's done. Game over. Right? As I told you, once the Irish people woke up, right, it was game over. We don't fuck around in this country. Right? We don't wait for it to be in our laps and it's too late to do something about it. We were always going to do something about it. And I told you, once the Irish people woke up, it was game over. And we show you how it's fucking sorted and how it's done and how it's finished. Right? And there won't be one single drop of blood dropped. Right? Okay? Because all it takes is, as I said, it's the same in every country. Once you break the leftist narrative in your country, they're done for. Right? They're done for. Even some of the media here are slowly waking up, but they still won't admit it to themselves because a lot of their journalists are activists. But the papers themselves, other journalists that aren't afraid to speak out, are speaking out. The narrative has changed in this country. Right? And the narrative had already changed anyway. Because in 2022 or late 2022 or it was early 2023, they did a Red Sea poll. 75% of this country had said that they thought Ireland, the Irish government, had taken in too many migrants. Right? Now, when they saw that, they panicked and then they start coming out with the far right narrative. Right? Simple as that. Right? We had to change it. And for a while there, the government and the left were winning, right? They were. There was no doubt that they were winning. They were gaining support. People were listening to what they were saying. But as I said, when 3 kids and a creche worker outside of school were seriously injured and ended up in hospital, and the far left in this country decided to focus on the looting and the fact that a so-called riot had happened, which it wasn't actually a riot. It was actually perpetrated by I believe, some of the radical left who have paid cronies to do it. They wanted to smash up the place to make us look bad because they knew we were all going in there because we were actually outraged that 3 kids had been stabbed in the country. But you see, the thing about it is that night and the next day, they only focused on the looting and the so-called riot. Nothing was said of the 3 kids and the creche. They said they put up their couple of tweets. Oh, that's desperate. Let's hope the kids put. And that was that. That was it. But they lost the narrative that day because a lot of Irish people then looked at this and said, "Hang on a minute. That's not right. Okay, the looting was bad. Blah blah blah. That's disgraceful. But he's more concerned about that than 3 kids and a creche worker." That's when they lost. That was the night that they lost, right? So we sort this out in 2024. It's going to take us longer to get rid of the NGOs and stuff like that. Small baby steps, but 2024 we'll have major victories. We'll even have a few of the candidates that are running. They'll win a couple of seats because even Leo has even admitted it's only a matter of time before the far right, as he calls us, will win a seat because he knows, right? And then once we get in the local elections, then we'll see the mood of the people. We'll see how many so-called far right representatives have been voted in the local elections. And if it looks good, then it'll be time to look towards the general election. And then it's game over, man. Right? So don't you worry. I told everybody here, right, that isn't from Ireland, right, that when Irish people wake up, right, okay, we get this shit sorted. And we will sort this shit out. As I told you, this country is going to be saved, right? It's up to the rest of us to do the same and use our country. But we're going to save this country. And we're not going to stop until it does. Right? And every single one of those traitors that are in Leinster House will be replaced by patriots, by people that want to actually do right by the country and its people. And that's the bottom line. So there you go. Anyway, 2025 an alien invasion, Peter thinks as well. I don't know, Peter. I mean, they'll do something major anyway, but they'll try to trick us all again. Let's hope he's don't fall for it this time. That's all I'll say. But anyway, I am going to leave it there. I think a 3.5 hour stream is fucking long enough, isn't it? Anyway, I did enjoy what I had to talk about. And if anybody had a problem with that, I have to say here tonight, I don't give zero fucks. So I don't even attempt to have a go at me for that. And I said, if you have opposite opinions, well done, fair play to you. Do you want the blue Peter badge? Okay, you're entitled to your opinions. If you stick to your opinions, keep them to yourself. Don't enforce your opinions on me. At the end of the day, people don't have to agree with that. And I said here today, at the end there, I just wanted to get things off my chest, and I have. And I've given you my opinions on things. And as I said, what I'm concerned about right now is what's going on in my country. And I don't give a fuck what's going on anywhere else in the world, because right now, what's important here is my country and what's happening here. End of story. Now, we'll be back tomorrow to talk some entertainment news. It won't be Friday night contact, of course, but it'll just be the Noel Zone. But I will do some entertainment news, because I know that's why you subscribe to the channel. The stream with Gothic Therapy is actually next Wednesday now. I will be putting the stream up the weekend. It's nailed down now. I'll have the two of them on. As I said, they're a duo. There was a bit of confusion because when I put the tweet up, I only tagged himself in the tweet, and he sent me a DM. The wife is coming on as well, isn't she? I said, of course, she's our duo. She goes, oh, it's just because of the tweet. So I never tagged these misses, so I do apologize. But yeah, I'll have the two of them on. So Gothic Therapy, Master TBS, some of you will know him on X. Boy, and we'll be discussing, obviously, Doctor Who, because they've been discussing Doctor Who lately, and of course, obviously, then we might touch on a couple of other things like Star Wars, because they have spoken about Star Wars and stuff like that. So that's happening on Wednesday. I'll put that stream up this weekend, so you're reminded. It's an afternoon stream, so it'll be 2 in the afternoon on Wednesday. Right, so I'll put that up there the weekend. So look out for that. That's with Gothic Therapy. They'll be joining me, and then I'll have my regular stream then that Wednesday evening then, because hopefully we will be back to normal. So yeah, so as I said, don't forget to join me for that. So get your notifications ready for when it does pop up as well. So we will leave it there for now, and I shall talk to you all very, very soon. Well, tomorrow. It's the weekend, so yay! And we will have some entertainment news. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff to talk about out there and stuff, because celebrities, especially now, like to yap. So I'm pretty sure celebrity has said something to piss people off. So we'll have a look out for them. So I'm gonna go now as soon as I leave the stream now and start browsing the entertainment trends and see what there is, if there's anything of interest. Take it easy and be well, everybody. Thanks. No problem at all. Yeah, stay safe and be well. So I said, my nose is starting to run again now. Jesus. But I'll be fine. As I said, it hasn't completely gone, but maybe it is. Maybe I should take a Lemsip just to be on the safe side. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, I haven't been streaming on the Man United channel. Actually, the last match that I did, we got beaten, and I left halfway through because I was sick and tired. So yeah, the last stream I put up, I left. So just I should just probably like say, sorry, but I got to the stage where I just can't review or watch along Manchester United matches right now. So I'm gonna have to do something on the channel though. But I'll see if I'll go. I'll see the next match is against Spurs. I don't know if that'll be the match that I should come back for, but I might give it one more go. But I have to be honest, if they don't improve, man, I'm just gonna end up fucking jumping out that window. I just can't hack it anymore. I mean, they're playing terrible football. I mean, I should just probably go and support the League Two side now. You know, it doesn't matter who they are. It's at least they'll fucking try play football. And I use being Chelsea a shite. I mean, everybody bangs on about United, but look at the money that Chelsea have spent, and they're worse than us. So, you know, because we beat Chelsea. So, I mean, Chelsea fans should be very fucking worried right now. You know, especially after that money they spent. Absolute joke. Anyway, leave it there. No more football. Go and follow the usual suspects. So, Cinnamon Toast, he's just there, jumping, drawing Jackrabbit, I should say. Scottish Star Wrestling Friends, Wrestle with Pop Culture. He's been doing his Pro Evo streams, so go and check them out as well. We had Gobster in the chat earlier on. Go and check him out. I forgot to mention him yesterday, but I did squeeze it in the chat just before I left completely. Go on and obviously subscribe to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, Rabbi from Another Planet, of course. And we got a Problem Beings channel, All Dread Audio Visual. And if you haven't checked out the Doctor Who audio, checked it out, and I really did enjoy it. So if you haven't checked it out yourselves, guys, please do. It's actually pretty good, and Lee's work on it absolutely fantastic. Of course, we knew we were going to get some of Lee's best work on that, so well done there, Lee. Obviously, go and check out the Sense Sphere as well. That's Brendan's channel. Gothic Therapy, obviously, because they're going to be guests real soon. And of course, we've got Type 40 as well. So go and check out all of those channels. If I've missed anybody, I do apologize, but we do have so many. If I had been here yesterday, obviously PD would have put them all in the chat, but as I said, I was a bit drained yesterday, and I had problems with the internet as well, and I fucking couldn't get onto my Facebook, all of that rubbish. So if he had been here yesterday, we would have thrown all of them up. But I'll just mention them now. You know who they are, the usual suspects. Go and check them out. They're all good guys. Oh, and a special mention to obviously the YouTube channel, the Melon Rattler, who's been doing some quite interesting videos, streams on Mr. TARDIS reviews. This latest one was actually quite funny. And as I said, I'm not going to spend any more time on that Muppet. You all know how I feel about him. You all know, look, at this stage, if people don't realise he's a charlatan, and people don't realise that he's literally one of the most toxic people in the fandom, well, then we can't help you, you know. But this man should have been sued when he made those comments against Sargon. But unfortunately, he never actually went through with it and actually sued them. Because I do believe if he had to sue them, we wouldn't have this version of William. Because I don't think William would dare, because I think he is such a coward and a pussy. I think if he had been sued, it would have shut him the fuck up. And I don't think he'd be having the attitude that he has today. All I'll just say to you is, on a final note, is this. You know, you used to criticize me for doing hit pieces on people, but yet there you are today doing the very same thing. And on top of that, then as well, you have some cheek and some nerve to ask people for money when you make a tidy sum on that channel. I've got a smaller channel than you, and it helps me with the electric bill. Now, it doesn't pay all the electric bill, but I make if I was to stream more, obviously the more I stream, the more money I make. But the thing about it is, you've got a big channel with the subscriber account that you have. You also get super chats during your live streams. there's no way that you should be begging or asking people for 400 quid. I think it's absolutely disgraceful what you're doing. And I do want to say this is because I do remember there was a time where I made a comment about this before in the past, actually, when I first started off about how YouTubers were doing this sort of grift. And you had the cheek to come out and shame me for asking one time, I think it was, if people would be interested or something in buying some merch. And you had a go at me for that. And there you are. This is twice now. Your car broke down, apparently, or whatever it was, the issue with your car. And then you asked, and now because you can't get the ratings, the BBC rate, or whatever it is, because they're behind the paywall, you want people to pay for that privilege. Well, pay for it out of your own pocket. People are not here to fund your fucking lifestyle, right? Now, if you want that money so badly, then you know what you do? You up your content on YouTube. If you can't be bothered to up your content on YouTube, well, then don't be asking people for money. And I'll say that to all the other grifters that you hang around with and you pal around with and you interact with on X, right? I'm going to say it to you all, right? And you all know who you are. I won't mention you. I had some of you on here before. I had some of you do hit pieces on me. I'm going to tell you all now. You are a bunch of grifters and you need to stop what you are doing, right? Because it's wrong. You are exploiting people, you are, and you are trying to con people out of money. And that's the bottom line. I'll say it out straight, it is, right? So the bottom line is this. If you want that money so badly and you want those, then keep doing more content, okay? Don't be asking your subscribers to pay the burden when they're already going beyond, above and beyond for your channel. By even subscribing to you, right, you should be privileged, right? Because every single subscriber you have, you should be privileged that you have that subscriber, right? Okay? Because they could be well watching someone fucking else. All right? So don't be exploiting people, right? Okay, you sell your merch, do whatever, right? You want to make the extra few quid. But to directly come out and ask people to help you out with a payment for something, you've got some fucking nerve, is what I'll say. You got some fucking nerve, some fucking cheek, and you want to leave it out. And that goes for you all, because he's not the only one. And it's been going on that side of the fandom for a long, long fucking time, right? Yous all fucking do it. Yous all try to squeeze as much fucking money out of these people as much as fucking possible. And it's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting what yous are doing. He's making enough money through them, the fact that they even watch your shit. Anyway, I'm off. Have a good one, guys. I shall talk to you tomorrow. And here is the trailer. Bye-bye.